How do I put it? It was like, what do you care about them? What do you care about those people? What difference does it make to you? Take care of your own life. Do the best you can for you and your family. What do the rest of the people mean to you? They don't mean anything to you. They're just serfs. They're just people. You know, what's the end goal? The end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society. They want a one-world government controlled by them. Everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip.
Hi, you're through to the customer services department.
Rise above, generate, rise above, distinguish fear, rise above, abstract.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Rise Above. We haven't been live for a little while, but we are back tonight with the customer services department. Welcome back, Andy PG.
Yo, what's going on? Rise above, yo.
Yeah, can I hear you nicely?
There we go.
That's better.
I'm always a bit louder than you. Why is my mic lower than yours?
Maybe because I've just changed your levels. One second, let me sort that out. I'll have to put you higher than 33.
So this is the last customer services show of the year, right?
Yeah, it is. Are we sounding 1 2 1 2? That's better. It is the last customer services show of the year. I'm going to turn.
Let's know
I'm
how
going to
we're
turn my
sounding in the
headphones
chat,
up.
guys, yeah?
Yeah, how do we sound? Because we had a misfire in the start of the show last week, and it was actually quite funny when we sorted it out. Salutations, medical droid. Could everyone hear us all right? Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Who have we got there? Bradley Golden, Flashback, Andy Pandy 33, Thought Criminal, Victoria Campbell. Wow, Sheep Farm's in the chat already. I think I can see Shiva Shampoo in there, one of the Archaics moderators who we're really looking forward to chatting to. I think we've got that booked in for like the 2nd of February.
Yeah, man.
Talking Mandela Effect.
Shout out to my Ramish wife, Becky S.
Big shout out to Becky S.
She's in the chat.
You sound really quiet to me.
Do I?
Yeah.
Why is that?
That's better.
Is it the Michael? There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, can everyone let me know if me and Andy PG sound at the right levels, at the same levels anyway. We need to get it right. And we've also got a special surprise guest in the studio tonight. Big shout to Jen Amulet, a.k.a. Sister and Sound. She's going to be selecting some tunes for us in a couple of little, very short musical intervals. I'm going to stress that. They're not going to be too long. We don't want to put anybody
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, at the most.
She could be dropping a selection of genres.
Yeah, of some nice independent music. And we're also inviting her to make her way over to the armchair in the corner when she feels it's appropriate. There is a microphone over there. Feel free to enter the chat anytime you like, Jen, once you've got set up. But I think you might also need to move your car if you're blocking the neighbour's driveway before we get too comfortable.
Right, so Lance, last customer services. We've got a studio phone.
Mate, yeah, this is big. Right, now, previously, when we do customer services, and in case you're not familiar with this format of the show, this is the most interactive way you can ever consume Rabbit on a Friday night. We want to hear from you. We're going to be looking at the comments all evening, answering questions. Now, previously, to get hold of the show, you actually had to use like Skype. Now, not everyone has Skype downloaded. Some people might literally, be watching on a TV that has no keyboard or whatever. So the good news is we have invested in a Rise Above phone. This phone has its own phone number. That's how phones work. You can call it. You can text it.
That's also how phones work.
That's absolutely. And if you're not in the UK, obviously WhatsApp. We've got WhatsApp installed with that number. So this is how you get hold of us now. It's 07983696691.
Nice cheeky 666 in the old number there. Excellent.
Of course, Andy PG.
So before we go any further, should we give a shout out to Pollyanna?
Oh yeah, we've got some Ramish birthdays today. No, I believe there's a couple. I know it's Pollyanna's birthday. I think Steve, Jess's fella, is also celebrating his birthday. Is it Ramish Dave's birthday?
I'm not too sure, mate. You said that.
No, that's what Evelyn said. Said we've got a triple one. Well, they're all round at the
Ramish Dave's house.
The Ramish Tile Master Supreme.
Don't believe me.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't believe me? Check out my bathroom. You'll see who the Ramish Tile Master Supreme is. It's Ramish Dave. They're around the house tonight, and they're having a joint celebration. So big shout to all of the Ramish.
I think Ramish Claire baked a fucking cannabis cake.
I believe I saw some antics like that in the group chat. That's right. I'm
sure there'll be mushrooms involved as well.
Yeah, that's probably why they're not in the live chat. They can't actually get to the keys on their phone at the moment. So yeah, it's an interactive show. We welcome you to call in. We want to hear, your rants, your concerns. If you've got some ideas, some good research to bring to the table.
If you think we're tinfoil hat lunatics or just peasants.
Yeah, I mean,
Andy's louder than you. Somebody's saying.
Okay.
Oh, we're open ready.
We've got a call already. Hello, welcome to Rise Above. I'll call them back.
They've gone. Peasants.
You didn't do that very good on the first go, did you? We're calling you back.
Welcome to the O2 messaging service.
Call back in.
Andy P, you're getting sacked.
Hang on.
You're getting sacked as the operator of my customer services department. Right, so
to be fair, I haven't had my indoctrination of how to use the phone.
You've never used an Android phone before?
No, mate. I'm a Schwab iPhone.
You partake in the forbidden fruit?
I do, mate.
I didn't know that. I thought you were...
Hey, listen, mate, I've seen you eating McDonald's.
I thought you were a droid head like me.
No, I'm no droid. There we go.
We've got our first caller. Welcome to Rise Above. Who's this?
Good evening, guys. My name is Gary. I sent you an email earlier. How are you guys?
Gary,
that's right, Gary. How are you doing, mate?
Absolutely fantastic. I just wanted to say, before I sort of raise any points, thank you for this amazing show for the last 3 years. It's been, I can't even tell you how much it means, and I'm sure lots of guys or everyone in the chat would endorse that. It means so much because to know there are like-minded people and the presentation and the commitment, absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. No, really. As you can see, we put a lot of work into this, so I'm glad it's appreciated, mate.
Yeah, no, I've muted, by the way, so it should be okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Treat this like a normal phone call with the stream muted. That's best.
Yeah. So just briefly about me. Basically just a regular guy. I live on the outskirts of southwest London. Lived here since university, but I'm originally from Morton on the Wirral, which is about 5 miles southwest of Liverpool. But I've lived in the southwest for a number of years. I've been a tinfoiler since 2008.
Nice.
I've been a committed tinfoiler. Been proud of it.
Loyal to the foil.
Yeah, I've been a tinfoiler since 2008. And the reason for that was down to a discussion in the sixth form centre. And you know what sixth formers are like, chew on all sorts of weird and wonderful subjects.
Yeah. But
one guy raised the issue of 9/11 back in 2008. He said there were no planes involved. And everybody else was just laughing at him and just sneering at him and saying all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But I was actually intrigued and was interested to know why he thought that, and that's what prompted me to start researching. And almost straight away I got on board because I'd always been, let's say, someone who questioned things. In the past, even when I was a kid, the footage of Bin Laden in caves with sinister messages all seemed implausible to me. So that's what prompted me to become a tinfoiler.
Sure.
Now, now I kind of researched on and off over a number of years. And, there were times when I forgot about it, then something would trigger me to research again. And that continued between 2008 and 2020. But 2020, when the Divic 91 fairy story started, that led to a breakup between myself and my long-term girlfriend. I'm 32 and single now.
Oh, really?
But,
So your views and your interpretation of the Divic 91 outbreak, as you put it, brilliantly put, was actually
D91. We'll call it D91.
D91. Oh, mate, that's even better.
Nice.
That's occulting it further. So that actually ended your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, she was as brainwashed as it was possible to be. Totally brainwashed by the BBC and the media and all those things.
Mate,
Whereas
can
obviously
relate to what you're
I saw
saying,
through it
Gary,
straight away.
Although
I hadn't really paid that much attention to it until I think it was the second Saturday in March. I would say that was March the 14th from memory, because I think all the actual lockdowns began on Monday 23rd of March. But it was the second Saturday. I was in the supermarket late at night, and I hadn't paid that much attention to it. And lots of people were wandering around with these silly bits of cloth on their face. And it was like a scene from a dystopian movie. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, no one had even suggested that they were them. So it must have been the powers that shouldn't be must have been rubbing their hands when I saw it. But it actually led to the breakup between myself and my girlfriend, because we were living in parallel universes, and it just drove an enormous wedge between us. It just couldn't happen.
Mate, I can relate to you, Gary. As a few of my close family members who are, as you said, like completely indoctrinated by the BBC and all the rest of it, and it's caused friction in my family.
Yeah, all of my family still believe the D91 fairy story. All of them still believe it, but it hasn't caused any friction between myself and my family. We just tend not to discuss it, and we just tend to discuss normie things, and we still get on really well.
Sure.
But it was kind of I was living with my partner at the time, and it just drove a wedge. It was impossible. It just made things impossible, absolutely impossible. Yes. So what I was going to get onto actually was something you've alluded to on a number of occasions, Andy, and this is kind of a big thing for me. Is the awakening. Now, I don't see any awakening whatsoever happening. Absolutely none, zero, zilch. Okay, I do not see it.
I would agree.
I'm just curious as to what other people think. Now, I did attend some protests, for want of a better word, in 2020 and in 2021. But they were heavily infiltrated. I mean, they really were heavily infiltrated. And the police were brutal. Well, they were in 2020, not so much in 2021. They calmed down a bit by then. And I also went to stand in the park events to try and find people who may be like-minded. Now, what I found at the stand in the park events were there were people. Most of the people there weren't seeing the big picture. Well, pretty much. In fact, very few of them saw the big picture. There were certain people. Most of them would disagree with one part of the agenda, but agree with another part. If you see what I mean.
Yeah, sure.
So they weren't seeing the big picture, and this was a source of frustration to me. So I actually stopped going to these events. So even at Stand in the Park events, I just wasn't seeing people who were truly awake, which is why, shows like yours are a godsend, and I'm a massive fan of Sheep Farm and Mark Devlin and one or two others as well, just like you guys are.
Yeah.
But onto the awakening, I absolutely have not seen it. I do not know a single person amongst my family, friends, associates, other people I meet daily who is even close to being awake. Not one.
So I've got just on that note, Gabe, just to chip in on what you just said there. I've got a fair few people who are around me. Some of the lads who I work with, some people, sort of associates, some of my friends. They like the one thing the majority of them have all got in common is they haven't had the arms beer. But a lot of them, they don't know anything about the occult. They don't know about like Agenda Agenda 2030 and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think no one's going to have every piece of the puzzle. So I think everyone should just realise that we're all kind of on the same level, because just from the fact we don't want the stabby jab, and just maybe go from that. I know everyone. I mean, I went.
Yeah,
to
but it's hard though, because some people that didn't go for, just because they didn't go for the stabby jab, you sort of assume, okay, these people are in the
They
know.
know what's going on, but they don't, mate.
And then like something super blatant and obvious comes along, and they just like
jump straight on the Ukraine
sort of,
train.
Yeah. Or there's many examples. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But
I can see both sides of the argument.
You have to somewhat let that slide to some extent, I think. Otherwise, everyone's just going to be at each other's fucking necks.
Yeah, I think the thing is, though, the only way we win this, humanity defeats globalism, for want of a better expression, is, well, I just see it as a numbers game. If we have a critical mass of committed people, whatever percentage that is, it probably doesn't need to be a particularly high percentage.
It's 51%, mate. That's the magic number. It's 51%.
Yeah, whatever the percentage is, we need a critical mass to win this before their plans are fully executed.
I personally don't think we're going to win this.
Well, I can't see how we can possibly.
No,
because
I don't.
I think we're a drop in the ocean, guys. I
Yeah,
actually think
I
we're
would
a drop
agree.
in the ocean.
And that's not being negative. That's just being
No,
a
I'm
realist.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm absolutely being a realist, because it is a source of frustration to me. I am living in a parallel universe that pretty much everyone I meet or know. It's incredible. Most, as I say, the vast majority I know in terms of the Brittany, they're Brittany'd up twice. Most people were Brittany'd up twice. Most of them didn't take go to the third concert. A few did, but most didn't go to the third concert. But pretty well all of them are doubled up.
It was almost like that 2 concerts is some sort of threshold between whether you are a total NPC which is locked in basic meat suit awareness, or you might have something about you, because there are a lot of people that have been to 2 concerts and they sort of say, well, I won't be going to any more. That's enough Britney Spears for me. I think that's quite a phenomenon. I think it's almost like once you've done the 3, it's the magic number 3 again. Once the triad of Britney Spears is complete, then you're sort of like, you've crossed over that threshold of commitment. I don't know. I've definitely observed that.
What I did enjoy seeing in a perverse sort of way was the number of celebrities that showed their true colours as well. It was incredible, really.
Yeah.
I personally really enjoyed that.
I did. I mean, we're seeing brain dead ex-footballers like Alan Shearer telling everyone to get their booster, and with this little video.
I think one of my personal favourites was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
he was one of my personal.
Screw you and your freedom.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, he was one of my personal favourites.
Hang on.
Dolly Parton was a good
Dolly
one.
Parton,
Yeah,
was she on it? Was
Vaccine.
she?
Oh, she did the vaccine.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Vaccine
Was it
song.
fucking
Sorry, the
goldy-looking chain?
The Britney song.
Yeah.
They sold out as
She
well,
did the
didn't
Britney
they?
song, yeah.
Yeah, I
She
didn't
changed the lyrics to
realise
Britney.
Dolly Parton was a part of that. But yeah, I do remember Arnold Schwarzenegger really giving it the.
Yeah, you remember Dolly Parton's song Jolene?
Yeah,
Yeah, she does
well,
it.
she
changed the word to
schwabbed that
Britney.
together with the Britney Britney V word.
Yeah, she changed the word to Britney. Yeah, but then Lenny Henry and
Yeah, there was loads of them, mate. Yeah.
guys. But looking back to 2020, I still amazed how people went along with it, because the whole thing was surreal. When you had you had all these you had curfews and rules of 6, and it was just people went and the Prime Minister threatening you on the alleged Prime Minister threatening you on television, saying things like and if you break the rules you will be arrested and all this kind of stuff.
I remember Sleepy Joe Biden saying our patience is running out. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, we've been patient, but our patience is running out. Like, literally just threatening the fucking citizenship.
Yeah. Your freedom is on the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, fuck you.
Who was the guy? There was a few guys that were basically threatening people. But here's the thing, right? Now the the puppet politicians now very really talk about. Well, they don't even talk about it now. But if you look at the figures about how many of them voted for Britney passports, it's absolutely incredible.
Was it the same amount?
And the figures are online.
Is like how safe and effective it was. It was like 98.2% safe and effective. 98.2% of politicians voted for the Britney passport.
Well, the figures are online. Yeah, they voted for the. I know protests only tend to delay things rather than prevent them, but it's a good thing they did happen, because if it hadn't been for protests, Britney passports would have been in 2021. Because they were going to be introduced at nightclubs and various all sorts of events, and it didn't actually happen. But I think without protest that we would definitely have had Britney passports by now, and obviously it's going to be a problem now with the power being given away to the World Health Organization.
There's been more talk about that treaty recently.
Just careful chatting about the WHO. We might just tread into Eminem.
What do you mean,
territory.
the Wuhan Holocaust Organization?
Yeah. Let's call it.
The Holocaust Organization. Yeah, because they're going to decide, and it's going to be linked to digital ID and so on. Which Britneys you need to travel, and et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be all sorts of caveats and stipulations. And
I remember seeing videos it was Israel. I think it was 2021 they had, or maybe it was 2022. They had literally, like, they weren't letting people in supermarkets without scanning their Britney Spears ticket.
Yeah.
Well, I know.
So is that still in effect over there?
Well, that's what I was about to say, because I'm sure they had the same. I can't remember if it was parts of Australia or New Zealand, where it was so difficult to get into a supermarket if you hadn't been to the Britney Spears concert. There was like a new economy of teenagers, because under 16 you didn't have to have the Britney Spears concert ticket to get to the supermarket. Sure. So there's like, you know how like 16-year-olds hang around outside the supermarket trying to get adults to buy them food, alcohol, right?
It's kind of the opposite.
Now it was reversed.
Yeah,
These
nice.
teenagers would wait around outside the supermarkets waiting to buy adults food, because they weren't allowed in the supermarket at all. Not that they weren't old enough to buy food. It was like, what a bizarre situation. But someone called in this show and they told us all about it. So what you're saying, it's true, because that was implemented in other countries. I think it wasn't very what's the word, consistent.
Dan Andrews is brutal, wasn't he? I mean, in I think it was Victoria, wasn't it? Daniel Andrews. I mean, he literally locked people in their homes. They weren't even allowed out for apart from about 10 minutes a day or some crazy thing like that. It was absolutely brutal.
So I'm just going to address a comment here on. I'm just going to address a comment here on the screen. Rakesh has said, "Sorry, Gary, I disagree, and I know exactly why." Rakesh, mate, if you want to chip in on this and chime in, feel free to give us a call after we speak to Gary.
You can call in next. You can email us.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
We'll put the email on the screen as well. Everyone can see the phone number now.
Everyone can have their say, chime in, whatever.
Yeah, because Go on, Gary.
Yeah, no. There's just another thing. I refer back to everything being surreal. I still have not seen people. People have almost forgotten it so quickly as well. That's another thing that I can't understand.
Yeah, but you think about it. I can understand it, because you think about it, right? They're not reporting on it anymore. Like, you know, there might be a few things here and there about it, especially as we're coming into the Who season now. And then you think all the prices of everything's gone through the fucking roof. Everyone's struggling, running around, trying to feed their family, trying to put fuel in their car, stuff like that. Everyone's too busy to...
The current thing has changed so many times.
And we've had Ukraine, we've had now we've got Israel, Palestine. There's been so much.
Because it went straight from Soviet Union to Ukraine in one day. Because I remember the meme that Anti-Soviet made, where Putin was stood over a coffin and it just said like Soviet-19, Divik 91 on the coffin.
There was the Indiana Jones.
Well, you look at last year. I mean, they were derailing trains and torching food factories and other things that are almost gone unnoticed now, and it's and all sorts of other crazy things these lunatics do. But They resort to anything. I mean, the attack on the farming industry's been ongoing for the last couple of years, and that worries me as well, I have to say.
We reported on that more than once, but the thing is, it's like, you know, just because we're not talking about it doesn't mean it's stopped happening. Like you say, it's sort of carried on, you know, regardless and consistently. So Sheep Farm here have said, memories have been wiped, micro dementia. It's almost like it's some sort of like shock therapy is being applied, where if you're just constantly bombarding the meat suit stimuli sensors with just, you know, constant shock, constant.
It's
stimulus.
quite literally trauma-based mind control.
Yeah, trauma-based.
It's quite literally
I
trauma-based mind
think
control.
you're right because the public. I think I do take your point actually. Now I think about it, because the public are led by the nose by the media, and MSM still have the power despite all the. You know, the truthers. This is another thing, actually, just going back to the so-called awakening. Virtually every sort of truther channel that I listen to, yourselves accepted and some of the others, say, oh, yes, so many people have woken up, so many people now realise. I wish I saw it. I really
No,
really
I'll
do.
tell you why. I'll tell you what's going on is these people who are saying those things may have a few of their close associates and people around them. Maybe there's a few people at their job who do know what's going on. So they then multiply that and think that the whole population is thinking like that.
It's because they've created their own little microclimate of rabbit holers. So, and it's like, you know,
they kind of amplify it,
Well, we've done the same thing, but we tried to be very mindful of that, you know, and that's why we want to do the call-ins as well, because we often need to remind ourselves that there are people per se in your situation where there is no one or very few people in your immediate circle or no one, and that's part of the reason why we've tried, you know, we've carried on with this, because we really do. What's that? Loyal to the foil.
Ross, that's you with a tinfoil hat on.
Who just
I think
sent
Russ
that?
Kieran just sent.
Can we
it
get that on in my message?
Yeah. I think that's you.
What I'm saying is that, you know, I've always said, right, if I would want to watch this show if I didn't already have the space around me to be able to talk about stuff like this with my friends and you know, the people that I've met, because otherwise toying with these notions and oh my god, what we think is a good interpretation of the world on your own without anybody else to discuss it with can be quite traumatic, I guess.
It's helped me tremendously over the last 3 years. Like, I can't thank you enough for it, because it really, really has. Just to be able to listen to like-minded views and not just that, the general presentation of the show is absolutely amazing. It's been fantastic.
Man. But don't forget, it also works the other way around. Like I can only speak for myself, but I'm sure Andy's the same, and other people that come on the show. We do this partly because we need an opportunity to get this off our chests. Yeah. Because
I can see that as well.
Yeah, because you know, it's a chance to get it out, to really you know, to chew the cud on some of this stuff.
Plus, fuck me, I work with NPCs a lot of the week. I do jobs around NPCs' houses. It's nice to not be around NPCs. I like coming here to the studio.
Yeah, but when we get the feedback and, you know, we have the interaction with the live chat, and even more so tonight because we are taking calls and Skypes and stuff, that's very important for us as well, because, you know, we need to know that what we're doing is worth the time that we're putting in, etc. And also, it's very important for us, like I say, to be able to get this off our chest, to be able to discuss it, so it's not going around in your head all the time. So it's mutual and it's reciprocated for sure, Gary. Absolutely.
I'll tell you another thing. Actually, I've been paranoid about since the Britneys were introduced. Is approaching women. I know this sounds, but most of them are Britneyed up. And I'm really wary of it, you know.
Do you know what, right? One of my mates said to me in 2020, when they were talking about the Britney Spears tour before it came out, before tickets were released, he said to me, he was like, I'm going to start a dating app like Tinder, but just for the, you know, the pure bloods, the organic. I was like, mate, you should do it. And there's fucking loads of them out there now. That is a thing now.
But
and the other way.
Not pure anymore.
Yeah.
It's in the food.
I know, it's everywhere. And the
but you trust everyone that says they're unbritneyed.
And there's ones the other way. I think there's dating sites for people that are only Britney Spears.
I think Jen's just brought up an important point there from the armchair. That Jen, I think what you're trying to say is that just because you haven't been to the Britney Spears concert.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not laying in bed with Britney Spears concert attendees, but I'm just saying it because I had an experience actually, and I'll share it. My period come very early when I was not fully intimate with someone that had one and didn't tell me ages ago. But just being around them, like my period come early, and that was enough for me. And I had other friends that had similar instances who have partners that have attended the Britney Spears thing. So there's definitely something there with the womb and women's reproductive organs. My period just come early, and I was just like, well, that's enough for me. So since that, I've been very strict.
You've seen enough.
Yeah, well, I felt it in my body. I had to clear it. But what I'm noticing now is it is in the food, this hydrogel, the graphene oxide. I don't know what you want to call that, if there's names for it. But it's not just through the jam. Obviously, that's where through the Britney Spears is worse. But yeah, it's everywhere, and that's a multi-layered attack.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Yeah.
The transmission.
Oh, it's in the air and the water and everywhere. Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah, Celeste Salom
that's
does
interesting,
some really
the
good
point
stuff
there.
about it. She talks about it
Sorry.
and how to clear it. Celeste Salom, if you ever heard of her, she's really interesting. She's like an she's an American lady. She's really interesting on all of that stuff.
Well, just on that point, Jane, that brings up the subject of shedding, doesn't it? And if it is a real thing, and it does, and with the experiences you've had, it sounds like it probably is.
Oh, shedding! I went to a rave the other night, and it was like zombies walking around, and my eyes were like all glazed after, and it took me 3 days to clear whatever was coming off of people, because it is Britney Spears season at the moment. So yeah.
Right, cool. Nice one, mate.
Guys, we've got a special caller who's going to call back in studio in 5 minutes. Gary, do you want to? We've got a few minutes left, mate. Do you want to just wind up with any closing thoughts from yourself, mate?
Yeah, sure. I'll clear the line now. Just to say, it was lovely to talk to everyone. Thank you for that, and thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for your amazing show. Long may it continue. Cheers,
it's a
guys.
pleasure.
All the very
Thank you.
best.
It's awesome to talk to you. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
Cheers, guys.
Means a lot,
Bye-bye.
bro. Take care of yourself.
Word.
I'm just trying to get a nice button.
Come on!
Nice call. What a brilliant call to start off the night. That
Very
was
positive.
That was very good.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract.
We are expecting a special call in just a moment. We didn't even get to do any announcements or anything like that. Let me just share the screen.
Should we just plug Roots quickly while we've got time?
Yeah. Let's have some zero win.
Yeah, we got Roots brand, guys. If you need a boost in your digital Schwab life and take you back to some organic, these are Inspector Veg approved, FDA approved.
Yeah, FDA approved. They've got all the goodness in. It's called. Can I have one, please?
Yeah, mate.
It's called nutraceuticals. Basically, it's made from fruit and berries and totally natural.
It's
extracts.
anti-Schwab.
It's even in a vegan capsule, and they make
Roots brand, guys.
Dropped
Roots.
They make your brain work properly.
They boost your pharmaceutically boost your meat.
Your peasant meat soup brain. I'm not going to play the advert because we play it every week. But they've got all kinds of good stuff. You need to scan the QR code. Oh, let me just get rid of that bloody thing.
I've just got an email here from Jackie. I'm just going to read this out. I have a couple of
yeah.
thoughts. With all these planes flying around and spraying our skies during the day, and I presume nights too, where are they stationed? Are they on military bases or do they come from underground? If people know where they were, then surely action could be taken to stop them flying. There must be thousands of them. Are they drones? I can't imagine amount of pilots being available throughout the world. I do believe most of the politicians are actors reading their scripts and media broadcasters, in brackets casters. They are actors practicing their scripts days in advance. They must have to rehearse to get their news programs edited before transmission. Nothing can be live. The broadcast flows seamlessly and camera angles have to be planned. Interesting.
That's some very good points there. I take
Yeah.
it she's talking about the peasant crop dusting.
Yes, mate. Yeah. The lines in the sky.
The lines in the sky. Yeah, there's there was a lot of questions there. I'm not sure I'm fully qualified to answer.
No, but some very interesting points there and some rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
There's 232 peasants tuned in.
Not too bad. It's Friday night. Let's have a quick look at the what's going on in the live chat.
Somewhat. Oh,
I think we. Okay, who have we got tuned in here? Dave, Tomo, G Unit. Oh,
here we go.
who's that calling?
Good evening, Kyle Greaves.
You're live on Rise Above.
Rise Above. How are you doing, boys? Been a while.
Yeah, we're good, mate. Very good. It has been a little while. When was the last time we saw you?
Last time we saw Kyle was at Equinox when he did his comedy set.
When everybody was absolutely like, I think that only resonated with about 8 people. The rest were a bit wayward, which is fine. They were having a good time. So,
I think
they were picking the wild fruit and eating it.
You could say that, yeah. They might have been foraging a little bit too hard.
They were wonderful people, and I didn't meet a single person that wasn't truly lovely.
That's good to hear, mate.
Yeah, they were all just wonderful. Right there, I mean, I'm going to come along and camp at the next one and eat wild berries.
Nice.
So, why not?
It's recommended.
It is. So what's new then, boys?
Well, we've just been trying to keep ahead of the curve, and
this is the last customer services show of 2023. So we thought we'd like to hear from you, Carl. I'm sure you saw the little bite-sized clip that Lance put together and tagged you on Facebook.
I took a black pill recently and regretted it.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. So, Carl, I was wondered what maybe you could give us a Clown World roundup of 2023 in your opinion of how it's been for you.
Earlier in the year, as I said, I took a black pill, and once again, I shouldn't have. I started to notice things. Okay. I don't know. Right. I've got this friend called Every. He's got a bit of a long name. His full name is Everyberg Singlestein Timowitz, and so I just call him Every for short. So I started to notice things, and it was once I started to notice things, I couldn't stop, Lance, and I've been so troubled ever since. I started to notice things, and I was using pattern recognition to create an accurate worldview.
Gosh,
I know. The BBC did not comply. Like they're mainstream. It was the things I was noticing weren't in the mainstream. I astutely observed anti-European sentiment, originating from the same group over and over and over again. And I thought, once you notice this, it's really hard to get out of it. And I started to notice more. I began to notice who 40% of the billionaires are, despite being just 2% of the population.
Oh, right.
So this is seriously deep. So I kept digging. It did increase my noticing activity, resulting in even more things to notice. And I've become the Chad Noticer, I'd like to say. And
Chad Noticer?
Chad Noticer. Now, since this ability, thanks to my friend Every, to notice things has been going on, I've noticed an awful lot, boys. I really, really have.
Was it a snowball effect?
I hope that...
Was it a snowball effect once you found one thing?
It's the joy of red pilling, and in my case, the horror of black pilling. You boys are doing God's work, pilling the world against the shit that we're being forced upon. But I have noticed one thing lately. This year hasn't been as clownish as the last two, which leads me to believe it's the calm before the storm, boys. What are you saying?
I would agree.
You think that you think the absurdity might have peaked in 2022, and now things are getting a bit more serious.
Yeah. The bread and circuses have been rolled out again.
I think the name of the game for the next couple of years is to just bankrupt the peasantry.
Currency collapse is all but imminent.
I think they're just going to take as much money off the peasantry as they possibly can in every way, shape or form.
You and I both know, and the boys that are with you now in the studio are all well aware that we oversaw the greatest transfer of wealth in human history over the COVID period. If you look at the numbers, the figures from markets over banks and publications, they all point towards a currency collapse in the UK. It's the steering of digital currency. And I haven't been in touch with you boys much, so you may have already covered this a million times. I think that black marketeering is going to be the way to go. Resource bits and pieces, ability to grow and sustain is going to, unless you are going to become an insect-eating pod dweller. Really?
Checking your checking your social credit score before you're allowed any toilet
Kyle,
paper.
on that note, what you just said, how many peasants do you think would willingly sign up, move into a Schwab smart city, into their little peasant pod, and willingly eat bugs? And
It's not
literally
that I can answer that
live
question.
like Black Mirror.
I can answer it in that I don't know many people that wouldn't.
There you go. There you go.
And that's the sad truth. I found myself, even as a public figure, loosely, a bit of a Z-lister, I found myself increasingly isolated over the last few sort of 3 years.
Do you think your opinion on the last 3 years has cost you bookings?
No, not at all. No. For bookings for my public, like my work, my boxing, things like that, it hasn't. I've even taken on, I'm doing how do I put this? I do weddings, right? As you know, Lance, I did this wedding for you once.
You did very well.
And I'll do your next one after your divorce as well. That was on the house.
Luckily, she's not watching.
Was that a fucking Michael Jackson soundbite?
Yes, it was.
Jesus Christ! But no,
Michael.
where were
Loud. It is loud. Sorry.
right?
Go on.
Losing bookings, no. But I found a lot of people have given in. A lot of people have gone, oh fuck it. Oh, I'll just plug into the Matrix again. Learning this was too hard.
Yeah.
You know, being aware was too... I don't want to be self-aware.
Yeah.
I want to just get drunk and I want my bread and circuses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've seen that attitude shift in the population of the fucking peasantry, the filth. And the media report their crap onto them. Again, I'm now seeing adverts. Not that I don't watch media, any of it. You were the last show that I watched, right? So...
Did you just say we're the media?
You're my media. You're the real media.
Oh, Kyle.
Yeah, we're not. We call ourselves NOM. We coined it NOM, New Organic Media.
New Organic Media.
Yeah, but you know, have you ever heard, like, I get my news from fucking memes, lads, right? Because then it's more accurate.
It's the best way. It's the best way.
So I get any digestive information, anything with any meat on the bones, I'll go to you boys, right? The thing is, I'm already seeing ads for fucking I'm a Celeb, and people are talking about it, and I just think, you cunts have learned nothing. You deserve fucking bugs.
You deserve everything that you've acquiesced to.
Bugs, peasant.
Everything that you're about to accept.
Yeah, I can't go to the football game because I've used up all of my social credit travel.
Yeah.
And I can't watch it on the TV because I swore.
But the problem is...
Find one credit for the violation of the Merble Terrain. Oh,
the problem
ridiculous,
is, Kyle, is that these peasants that acquiesce to this shit and actually beg for it and want it, like you say, they want their bread and circuses, they want to live in the Matrix. The problem is, the more fuckers that live like that, they're enslaving the rest of us.
There's nothing we can do. Like, we will never change them.
No.
The people, it happened, right? People chose a side. Okay? The turncoats, I hope they burn the hottest. To be completely honest.
I look at it like this.
Go on.
When the Amish people decided that all of those English people that were settled in America, they were like choosing electricity machine. They're a bunch of Satanists. They didn't stop them from doing it. They let them carry on, and then they went and did their own thing. And that's sort of like what our philosophy is with being Ramish. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. You can go and live in your smart city, in your little box, and like you say, get digitally butt fucked every day by Schwab's credit score, eating your bug paste and your
suck off Mark Zuckerberg,
your protein burgers and all that. But you know, I truly do think that in the not near future there will be settlements of people living like the old normal way, maybe with a few, not with quite so much electric gadgets and stuff, but then there'll be people that are obviously with their implants and their wearables.
Oh, mate.
And their electric dick.
Well, by the time that happens, and as you know, Kyle, because you and me have mentioned it, when you get to that 6G and 7G level, those people will be literal biological nodes in the network. It's, you know,
mate, they'll be hooked up to the toaster.
They're called biosynths.
Biosynths, there you go.
They'll literally be wired up to the toaster.
Yeah, well, they'll be part of the network.
I want to say lady just spoke. Was it a lady or was they them or what? What's going
No,
on?
it's lady in the corner. No, it's Jen.
Don't
Jen
get
is in
me
the corner.
started on that shit.
Right, she's onto something. She's absolutely onto something. Lance and I had a conversation. I just had this thought about AI, and I sent Lance a completely out there message. And the beauty of it was, Lance responded to it with objective, claritable fact, and I was like, good.
Well, it was
Someone
sort of
else
like your
fucking gets
joke
it.
had already been planned, and it was like it was coming to fruition by these sort of like technocratic maniacs that have been dreaming and getting hard-ons about this stuff for decades, and now that we're getting told that it's happening right now, which means it's probably happened in some dark projects 10 years ago, and they're about to show us the results of their evil experiments.
It's very fucked. And the thing is, I joke about the peasants and all this, that, and the other, and I've always said that. But now I hate them. But I honestly think I drive along on the motorway, and I'm always doing 100 everywhere because I'm busy and go away. And there's people in front, and I just think, if you veered off the fucking motorway and exploded, the world would keep going. You're nothing, move. And if you look at these fucking sheep and cattle, and I might have a psychopathic view on it, the same as these freaks that are trying to push all of this crap onto the population. But in my view now, after what I've seen over the last 2 to 3 years, they fucking deserve it.
I'm not going to lie, I thought the same, mate. I have thought the same.
It's okay. It's okay. I'd say you're more of a secondary psychopath, Kyle.
Go on. That's
but no, I mean, I've sort of thought, well, if it's really true that what these farmer class, and they look at us like cattle peasants, and they're doing a bit of
farmer class with a PH.
Farmer class with a PH, and they're eugenicists. Well, in like you say, in the last couple of years, the general level of personal responsibility and decision making in your average everyday on the street peasant, I can see why the global elite think of them.
Mate, they call them the dead. Yeah, they literally no 100%, Carl. They call them the dead, the living dead. That's what they refer. I can't think of a more insulting term to call someone apart from the living dead.
But why wouldn't you call them living dead when they're that retarded that get a load of this?
Oh, I agree.
Hang on, listen to this. There is more content on YouTube discussing can white people use the N-word that you would be able to watch in 147 years. That's the fucking, there's an industry around a topic like that. They're putting this crap out there. That's more media than you could absorb in
147 years back to back.
147 years worth of fucking footage on YouTube and on other video platforms combined that discuss the topic of can white people use the N-word. It's
really.
Mate, I think one of the hottest topics at the moment is the trans debate, isn't it? I think there's so much.
Right, be careful because we had a
I've decided now, and I made a point for everyone, maybe for the Rise Above community. There's 3 genders now. There's man, woman, and trans, and that's either a he, a she, or they have to have their own pronoun, like a tray. I don't know what they want to call themselves. But
right, let me stop you there. Why are we even having this discussion?
Well, there's 2 genders. There is 2 genders, but these people have mutated themselves and changed themselves.
I'm going to back Jen up because in Thailand they do. That's exactly the system that they operate. You have man, lady, and you have katoi, which means lady boy.
In a boxing ring.
But katois have to fight men in Muay Thai, and they go to male prisons. So they have a very sensible approach to it.
Sensible, it's logical.
Yeah, sensible and logical.
It's a lot bigger thing. It's been around for a lot longer.
They've had. They don't have any
I've been
I'm open-minded. If you want to do that, do that. But
I've been a staunch right winger and a black Hugo Boss jacket wearer my entire life. But I'm super liberal. I'm super liberal when it comes to sexual freedom. I've never taken issue with anybody doing anything with their body.
So long as you don't fuck kids.
Yes, there's that. Obviously, that comes under that. But there's just huge annoyance behind the identity politics and I am this. You must obey. You must comply. They're just they're nodes for the AI machine.
But that's just the same. That's just the same as the societal cult. the same as the going to the Britney Spears store. You have to comply. You have to go and get your injections. You have to do this.
I can't believe that people had jabs for donuts. I still can't. It
Yeah,
makes
mate.
me laugh whenever I can't.
Jabs
I
for
cannot
kebabs.
understand that. But I still, before I bore you with too much serious stuff, because your listeners are probably thinking this guy's a cunt, it really does fill me with a profound sense of joy to see a tweet block that someone's compiled that says, get the damn vaccine, get the jab, you should be double jabbed.
Whoa. What's that V word? What's that V word there?
Oh, sorry.
Michael.
Get that. Get all these medicines, and then the one at the end, they're like the obituary post at the bottom.
Mate, that's not just
nothing
that's like a proper phenomenon now. There are even memes that have got like all like where people have put those for each person next to each other. They've drawn the lines in between the date when they got the special medicine and the date that they died. And you've got these
Special medicine.
And you've got these like murals of all of these memes where it's happened so much. It's like a proper thing. I saw one the
Special
other day.
medicine, it just sounds like something you get in a Victorian mental asylum to keep you quiet, doesn't it?
My favourite one, the favourite slang for it now, for me, is the final solution. That's got to be the
Clot
best.
shot was mine. I love the clot shot.
Clot shot was very good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there's probably enough clot shot memes to look at for 147 years, I reckon, easily.
But imagine they're big. This is what I mean about the bread and circuses. They're ramping up the bread and circuses again. We're in for something big. I'm not sure what. I can never tell. They always seem to be 2 steps ahead. I don't know what's coming next. I can only imagine.
Yeah,
the
but
currency
you're not
collapse.
supposed to, Kyle.
It's a surprise.
No.
Yeah, it's a surprise
I
from
mean, we all
Michael.
bought it at first. We all bought it when we saw the leaked videos from China about the you-know-what and people getting locked up and falling over in the street. We all bought it for at least a day. And you think, shit, like, what's next? But what's next is going to be big. It's going to be scary for them. They're all going to be scared. But hopefully, you, me, and the Ramish will try and keep us one step ahead as we can.
Well, or at least keep a level head and not make any rash decisions when the next big thing is unveiled. I guess that's sort of like priority number one, because
emotionally led decisions are bad ones.
Yeah, and and we try to be like no holes barred here and no rules, because we have seen it with a lot of people that did say no to the really important thing in 2020. But with all of these little micro happenings that they've rolled out consistently afterwards,
Michael happenings.
they've got caught up in those like very, very easily. It was being discussed with the last caller. They've got slowly pulled back into the net again of being tricked by the latest thing coming along, and getting your energy harvested by it. So
yeah, it's why I said earlier in the earlier part of this call that I've given up on a lot of people, and it's not that I can't tell you how many people I know will be happy with living like that. I only know a very select number of people that wouldn't, and that offers me nothing but great sadness to carry around. But whatever, fuck them. Like, they can burn. They can all literally burn. If you're happy to live like that, fuck you. Good luck.
Well, I think it gets to a certain point where it's like, it's like, do you really want to violate someone's own free will to do that to themselves?
The ends always justify the means, Lance. The ends always justify the means with these freaks. So whoever's doing this, they don't care.
No, they're quite the opposite. They enjoy what they're doing.
Well, there's sort of the fact that they don't care is being counted on. That's how this works.
Yeah.
If they were using their care and focusing it in a generative way,
they're using what Mark Passio's coined as dark care. They care. They care, but in a fucking negative way, in a dark way. They care about about getting the peasantry in the ground.
That's great. That's a dark care. I've not heard of that. You know what I love about you guys is every time I either work with you, visit you, listen to you, or speak with you, I always take something away from it.
Oh, that's good. We like to educate. Much like yourself, actually. I've seen some of your posts about shin kick Muay Thai. Do you want to give that a little plug quickly, Kyle, while you're on the line?
Yeah, tell us why combat sports is so good to stop being yourself being an NPC.
To stop being a dick when you're a teenager.
Oh, if you've got, I won't wank off about it too much, but if you've got a young kid, they're going to end up in a North Face jacket getting stabbed by some fucking retard for it. So arm them with the tools.
What is is
arm
with
them with the
bald
tools.
face thing? Like, what is it? I've seen it everywhere. Yeah, it is.
It's the next expensive thing that's gang or what fucking gay. But look,
It's called drippy, getting drippy. Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Is that the latest thing?
Getting drippy.
I've
Getting
not
drippy.
heard that
Yeah,
yet.
Getting drippy. That's
I'm at the age where I'm getting droopy, babe. But look, get your kids into martial arts clubs. They're the only they're the last bastion of like naturally occurring testosterone that they can get without having some fucking purple-haired whatever teacher scream at them for acting like boys or girls. Get them out there. They'll learn to defend themselves. They get fit. They get confident, and it will arm them. Most importantly, with just self-confidence that's going to make them think for themselves, and that's the basis of a good life.
Absolutely, a nice wholesome message.
I'm not going to plug that gym. I only fucking volunteer there. I don't get any money. Fuck them.
So
right, I'll let you go, Rise Above. But as
been
always,
great to hear from you, mate.
Yeah, man.
Sure, it has. But I'm sorry I wasn't as funny as usual. But I've just been noticing things, and I would encourage the listeners to notice some more.
Yes,
everyone should notice more.
Remain observant. Certain
they'll
themes
become
are
anti.
certain themes are
They'll
recurring.
become anti something by noticing quite a lot. But I'm not going to tell them what until they notice.
Anti-schematic.
Yes, correct. Well, nearly, but I'll let you carry on with that one.
Against schemes.
Lots of love, you lot.
Mate, it's great to hear from you, Carl. And we'll speak to you again in 2024, I'm sure.
Hope so. Thanks, and have a fucking great Christmas, Rise Above. And everybody
guys,
listening.
Take care, man.
Take care, Carl.
Cheers, guys.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above.
Kyle Greaves, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the new Rise Above
Mate,
phone.
he's such a legend.
He is.
He's always such a legend, isn't he?
Great guy is Kyle. Great guy. Second best combat sports MC in the UK. So, right, let's share the screen.
You're such a shameless motherfucker.
It's going very well. We haven't even basically start introducing the show.
Oh, we got someone else.
End of Empires. He's one of our new memesters.
Audio.
End of Empires. How you doing?
Oh no, he's hung up.
He's gone. I'm sure we'll come back in a second. Are we even going to get to showing it? Yeah. So last week we had
There we go.
Oh, here he is. Okay. We have our third caller. Customer services. The phone line is hot like a potato tonight, Michael.
To me as you come.
End of Empires, you're live and Rise Above. Oh no, he's hung up again.
It appears to have a dodgy connection because we're all connected here to the Wi-Fi.
Just ring in on audio. End of Empires. If you can hear this, ring in on audio instead of video.
He might not be in the UK.
Okay.
But remember, this number can be used on WhatsApp. If you have WhatsApp and you're in another country, you just need to use the +44. Obviously, if you're in the UK, it works as well. So yeah, that's how you get hold of the show. We'll wait out for Age of Empires. That's who made. Oh, where we go. You're through to Rise Above. Welcome.
Oh yeah, it's End of Empires. I had some issues, so I rang up instead.
No worries. Please don't say the C or the V word.
You know the score,
No
I'm sure.
problem.
You can say fuck or
Yeah.
cunt.
So welcome, welcome to the show, man. For anyone that doesn't
Thank
know,
you.
I showed this guy's memes a few shows back. One of our newest memesters. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, it's good. I thought I'd finally ring up.
Excellent. I suppose it's a lot easier on the phone. Skype is a little bit temperamental, so I think.
Yeah, it's down here, especially down in the West Country. I'm even further down than you are.
Whereabouts are you?
Down in the Ocean City, Plymouth.
Oh right, okay, lovely.
Yeah.
not too
We
far
didn't have
from
it
us.
too bad here through the Divot. Obviously, being in the West Country, I don't think we saw a police officer in 6 months. In fact, they had to go to our local shops to tell them to enforce all the ridiculous rules because none of us were doing it where I lived. So it was a bit better. We lived near the country. We had quite a good time down here.
Okay, well that's a different story than we've heard from a lot of other people in the UK. So, mate, Bournemouth, we had, because of myself and a few other people, we had a bit of a police presence and stuff like that. But I imagine, the further you go, down into that little peninsula, right down the southwest. There's a lower police presence down there anyway. I suppose maybe comparable to some of the smaller towns and villages in the UK as well. Yeah.
We were quite lucky. I live in the biggest estate in Devon, but there was just no presence out here. We just did what we wanted. People, I went and bought a van so I could go delivering, and that's where I really saw what was going on. I had a get out of jail free card. I just drove about, did what I wanted. I would have a few parcels I didn't deliver that day, pretending I was going places. I pretty much did what I wanted.
What? But did you say you had a white van? So you were just
I went and I used that as my cover. I did some work obviously, but used it a lot to go steal stuff that I wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, everyone found little ways to get around the ridiculous.
I didn't do anything, mate. I just literally carried on as normal. I was driving around on the first day of the lockdown. I walked straight.
Yeah.
I made a video. I went into this when I had my flat in Westbourne. It was before I moved into my house in the forest. I went. My nearest big supermarket was a Tesco's between Westbourne and Branksome.
Right.
I walked straight in there, made a video. 8 o'clock in the morning. I went in. I filmed myself. I was like, no mask, no problem. Straight away. I literally carried on as absolutely normal.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky. I've got a group of mates down here, all ex-ravers, so that's something I found as well. I find if people did that sort of movement back in the day, I think quite a lot of them were against what was happening, and I think that helped us in good stead because I've got a lot of mates who refused to take the Britney. So yeah, quite lucky that I've got quite a lot of open mates.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a mixed bag, even in our small little island. We've heard about so many different experiences, like our first caller, Gary, literally no one around him. He feels like he's just surrounded by people. We've heard that so much. And then we've heard also from people like yourself who are, in my opinion, it seems like quite fortunate to have, a circle around you that didn't sign up to the cult or go to the concert or whatever. So, it's a real mixed bag of experiences. And that's why I keep saying it, but that's why we like doing these call-ins because it's good to hear this stuff.
Yeah. Also, nearly all my family went to the Britney. They only had the two, most of it, so they could go on holiday stupidly. But they stopped after that. But luckily, most of my friends are my age. We all went back to the old rave days, and we pretty much stayed away from their propaganda. I don't even own a TV, so I didn't fall for any of it.
I do hear what you're saying about people that went to raves back in the late 90s, early 00s. It's almost like, was there some sort of like subliminal programming in the samples to the tunes and stuff that was almost saying, watch out for some impending technocratic takeover? Because think about it, what kind of media was sampled in those? There was a lot of science fiction samples in old school breakbeat music, in drum and bass, in all types of dance music. There's a lot of science fiction samples, and I often do wonder that. Because
I won't lie, yeah, carry on. Sorry.
No. I think that phenomenon of people that went out raving, and in that sort of time period, may be less likely to have signed up or got pulled in by it. So I would agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. We open our minds a bit, but also the reason I rang in is obviously about a month ago I sent you a couple of memes, didn't I? Just started doing some memes.
Yeah.
I started using the algorithm, like you said, to my advantage. Since I've done that, my X account, I've never been attacked so much since I started making artwork and memes. Because, well, you've seen some of the memes I've done. I don't hold back from anyone. I believe in complete free speech and comedy and memes. That the tribe, you can go for them, go for any religion, go for anything.
The tribe.
Nothing's off limits. Yeah.
It's so funny. Everyone's got their own like little slang words to get around the obvious, but it's funny.
Yeah.
The tribe.
So I pretty much believe in complete free speech, even if it offends you. Like if someone wants to say for their religion they want to do something to me, that's up to them. But they got to take it. I'm going to criticise their prophet or leader or whatever it is. So I believe in complete free speech. Where I found lately on the social medias, people who say they believe in free speech actually don't, because I attack the right quite a lot, even though I came from it originally, because I see how hypocritical they are.
Yeah.
Because they're just as bad as the left. They're crying about words. They want this ban. They want this protest ban. Either everything's free speech and we can have free protest for everything, whether you agree or not, or we can't. It's as simple as that. Where I believe.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. A post I made last week about those sweets that everyone was saying.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
A lot of the people that were posting about and going mad about that were right wingers, and I said, and it was a point I made quite clearly, saying that you can't have a packet of sweets that have got the word sex on that actually had nothing to do with kids, right? Oh, what? So isn't that going in and saying that's got to be banned, take it away? How is that different to the crazy left wingers with multicoloured hair going, that's that's racist,
cancel culture,
that's sexist, ban that? It's cancel culture.
This is how ridiculous it's got on social media. You've got people supporting the tribe, calling the other side Nazis, Second World War baddies. Then you've got the left calling the people from the tribe that they're also baddies from the Second World War. I've been called a left-wing lunatic, right-wing, middle, liberal, Second World War baddie, every fascist.
Second World War baddie?
Yeah.
You got called a nonce last week, didn't you?
Yeah, I was getting called nonce last week, yeah.
So it's even got to the stage where someone come on social media and basically attacked me and said, you must come from a bad family. Because I made a meme he didn't like, and it's just got ridiculous. Like,
gosh.
Me, so pretty much I've offended everyone on every social media. I'm actually banned at the minute from Free for a while because I basically I don't hold back on any of them, take on everyone. So currently at the moment, my social media consists of me getting it from the left, right, middle, MAGAs, viewers, all sides.
Just stay strong, brother.
I think that's a good achievement. If your memes manage to offend both wings and the centrists at the same time,
you're doing a fantastic job.
You must be making powerful memes, mate.
It gets even better. Within a month, I've managed to get Stephen Yaxley to block me. I've managed to get all the Britain First people to block me. Basically, I'm blocked by all political parties on all media because they can't take my memes.
They can't take your memes.
Yeah. My latest video is basically a Mickey take of Stephen Yaxley, and that did quite well on my little channel. But pretty much, I go after everyone. If I think someone's a fake, it doesn't matter who they are. I'll find out information about them. I'll go after them.
Well, mate,
so,
I get a lot of flack off all the mainstream people in the freedom truther movement because I'm very much the same. If I think someone's like a fake or a shill or a blatant stooge, I just say it.
I don't care who they are. At the moment, I've got something going on with a real big person, but I won't blurt who it is. But I'm investigating her.
Blurt it out, mate. Say who it is. We like it.
I'm going to go after Kate. I'm going to have to go after Katie Hopkins next.
Oh, Katie Hopkins. There you go. Shout out to Katie Hopkins.
Yeah. So I did Tommy. I've done the rest of them. So she's a bit of a fake. So I'm going to go after her.
Okay.
Even though I'm little, but I don't care. You've got to fake them out, haven't you?
Absolutely.
So I hadn't even got the reason why I actually rang up. I don't want to take too much of your time.
That's okay.
But I believe in synchronicities. I used to work on a YouTube. Well, I used to appear on a YouTube channel called The Kev Baker Show back a few years ago. Unfortunately, he passed away. He was a massive name in the truth movement. He had a radio station on TFR, American radio station, Truth Frequency Radio.
Okay.
And I used to go on there. I've got a different YouTube channel, but I'm going to come on at a different time and talk about that one.
Sure.
I've basically got a paranormal channel. When you used to have the, Master Leon.
Yeah.
I was the one who made a video about the Sandman, and every time I've made quite a few videos on the stuff that you've done.
Right, okay.
But I'm going to come on a different time and talk about the paranormal stuff and all that stuff, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, we'd like to hear you about that, mate.
Yeah,
but basically, I've just rang up tonight to talk about starting memeing, how much I've been attacked, how much I like your show. Pretty much the same. A shout out to my mates who are probably watching. They got me into your channel. We just started, we was watching you together through lockdown, so we shouldn't have been there, but we were. So we was all like a group who used to get together, watch your show, felt like we had someone to listen to. And
that's wicked.
So,
mate.
I'm continuing making the memes. My artwork's doing all right. Some real big people have shown my artworks. I'm doing all right.
Good.
But I'm going to come on another time, talk about the paranormal side and all that lot, because I used to go on TFR and talk about my videos a lot. So I think you'd be quite interested in another time when you're talking about that sort of spooky stuff.
Mate, we like to get everything out on the table here at Rise Above.
Yeah,
you know that.
We haven't done a show about the paranormal since about the episode 12 or 13. We can definitely start talking about that stuff again. Yeah.
So, go on, sorry.
Yeah, like I say, I've made a few videos on the stuff you've talked about when you've talked about paranormal stuff because I didn't know about them. And like I'll go and research it and then I have to make it. Like at the moment, I'm doing something on the colour blue, like I'm trying to do something on that and how weird that is. That's a bit of a rabbit hole.
Okay.
Oh, what, the colour blue itself? And
Yeah, and how it didn't even exist until like they invented it. So it's quite a weird subject.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is, and it approaches quite a few different quite a few
yeah. Well,
genres.
obviously you talked about that through the what's the word I'm looking for when you talk about the island? I can't remember the technology name we use it, so we don't get banned.
The mountain
Dew. That's it. Yeah. So obviously that ties into it.
Yeah, that's got to be linked with it for sure. Yeah, no, we got to be careful.
Yeah. So I just rang up this time, say hello, introduce myself because I believe in synchronicities. And I've worked, well, I'm getting older now. I used to be into UFOs as a teenager and a kid. First book I ever bought as a kid was 1984, and then I went and bought something called Above Top Secret. So I always known governments are dodgy because they lie about stuff like that. So I always thought from an early age, I was always a bit of a rebel, didn't do what I told, didn't believe in the government. So it held me in good stead, really. But so I've changed my view on the whole view on all that subject, mainly because I've started making AI art. I thought it was a joke. I'd do some alien autopsies and some fake UFO pictures, but they were so good. I put them online, and people were like saying, "Are they real?" I said, "No, they're 100% fake." But it's quite scary how good the AI's got, and I pretty much don't believe anything now.
That's it. I'm not going to lie. When I started to use it, and I had a go at making those John Levi style photos of the early 1890s photos with the white background with strange things in the photos. They were looking so
amazing,
good.
Isn't it?
I could post them, and like you say, people would be like, "Whoa, where did you find these?" And instantly, I thought, "Wow, all of this new." Because we keep commenting on on how this new.
How new is it?
Yeah, well, and also there's a lot of new research that's come out in the last 4 or 5 years about that period of time, and all of a sudden people have started looking at all these early photos, and that really started in 2018. It's something I've talked about quite a lot.
Yeah.
And
I'm with you. I like all that theory, but I just really doubt everything now because of what I can do on my little computer on my own. Imagine what they've had for 50 years, what they've been producing. So even though I think I'm awake, I've been doing this for 30, 40 years now, there's still stuff that blows my mind out. Well, does that mean that everything's almost fake? I don't know anymore. It's a good place to be. I feel like I'm at ground zero, where I don't believe anything, and I feel more open and free, if you know what I mean. Now, completely out the matrix.
Well, that's the thing. People often say to me that, that obviously aren't on board with our way of thinking here in the Ramish community. They say, well, if you really think that that's the way the world is, and it's this super complex, overarching, metaphysical, electro-spiritual conspiracy involving global, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, how can you live your life like that? And I said, well, when you, if you wake up to the reality that, we could be in some sort of contained field where we're basically fed all these illusionary perceptions of reality, it's actually quite empowering. it's actually quite a release, because then when you look out at Clown World, at the craziness of what's going on, well, then it starts to make a little bit more sense. It would make sense that if we're at the end of some great grand cycle that's not just linked in with the realm, it's also linked in with the progression of human consciousness and that reciprocal relationship it has with the realm, and that's why we're building up to this crescendo. Well, when you understand that, everything sort of becomes okay. I mean, I can only speak for myself because this is my opinion and my perception. But I can definitely see what you're saying there.
Yeah, well, I fought the Soviet Union quite hard at the beginning. I was just like angry with it, like fighting back, just like I've always done, like I ain't having this and all that. But obviously watching your show, and I'm a bit more chilled nowadays. Like I've got to a point where I'm getting attacked by everyone, and I've realised that everything's a clown show and just laugh at it all. So
yeah, man, it's funny at this point.
Yeah, it is. Just sit back and. But I believe it's all for a reason. But that's a completely different conversation for another day. Why I think this is happening and basically, I've spent 30 years doing this. And I've come to the conclusion for all the stuff I've watched and everything that we got some real evil people trying to do some real evil stuff for a reason, and they believe in a lot of. Oh, sorry, I just read a chat and nearly laughed. Someone's put end of meat pies from from earlier. So I believe this is for a reason, but I'm coming from more. It's led me to basically become a Christian, but not. I don't go to church. I don't do any of that. It's just from a personal view. My opinion is they've got all the knowledge, all the power, and if they believe in the other side so much, it's got to be a good chance that the other side's real. I might not have the right version of it, but I do believe with all we ever see is like secret societies, bad ones, but there's always yin and yang on the other side. Surely there's got to be a good side somewhere fighting back somehow. I don't know whether they're using energy, I don't know anything, but I just believe everything's got another side. I don't believe they'll win because I believe humans are just too stubborn, and eventually, even if it takes a while, when they had the pandemic and one of the plagues back in, I think it was the 1700s, it actually took 80 years for the peasants to revolt because they were still charging them the taxes and they still had all of the, all the restrictions from, it's one of our uprisings where we've had enough after 80 years. But it took 80 years for us to rise up. So I do think we've got it in us. It just takes a while. Communism fell in Russia eventually, but I think it will in China. I think people just have enough in the end.
The problem is these days is the majority of the countries are disarmed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know
How
what
are
you're
you
saying.
going to revolt? If you really sit there and think about it, I've spent so much time pondering this and contemplating this.
I have.
How are you going to actually revolt?
Well, it's going to take, you've got to get a few. The only way we can do it is by losing hundreds of thousands in the first wave.
Precisely.
You've got to have enough men brave enough to take their lives open in the future to the rest. That's how exactly every revolution starts.
The only way
I don't want another revolution, but I don't know how else we beat them.
We're not going to beat them, mate.
I know what you're saying. I think there's a reason why as well.
If you, I don't know if you follow Archaic's stuff. If you go by what he says, this is a simulation. This is a simulation where we're not designed to win. This is a prison simulation.
Yeah. It could be a simulation. I really do like that theory. But I think this is all for a reason. It ties back to what I said about Raven. I think the reason most of us didn't have the Britney is because there's a certain percentage of us that won't take the mark later on. And whether you believe it or not, or whether you believe in that version, I believe from a personal point of view, you and the rest of us who haven't taken this, it's a reason. There's something inside you that whether you're spirituous, you're open to like new experiences, the way we are, ex-ravers, whatever, we're open to something different than most of the population. And when it comes to the future, I think this system's being set up for the beast system. And eventually, I agree with you, 95% of people will take the mark just for like ease and they just do it. And I think that the 5%, whether you believe or not, you're special. And there's a reason why you're not taking this. And there's a reason why we're like. Because when the biggest test comes of all, I believe some of us will pass it. But that's just from my personal opinion.
It's really interesting. You keep talking about the rave thing, right? Because what it just made me think of, when I've watched the videos of the people like Dolores Cannon, and people that talk about, the light workers coming to this realm to try and raise their consciousness, one thing a lot of them say, and also the channeled material like the Ra channelings, they all say that some 5-dimensional beings came here in what we would call, like, say, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and they started planting seeds in the collective consciousness. And I always wonder if those seeds were what were sown into our generation of people that went down that sort of youth subculture of going to raves rather than being your average going to the nightclub that serves like really cheap alcohol as the other option. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you.
And if you're going to plant seed, if you were a 5-dimensional being, if you believe that stuff, and you were coming to this realm to play your part to raise the consciousness before the next great harvest, how would you plant seeds in the consensus of the population? Well, you'd be an artist, and you'd go into the media, and you'd use music, yeah. And
Yeah.
actually,
'Cause
in the
obviously
Guardian said this. Lee said this. Sorry to interrupt. He said this when he was on the show. He said that there were a lot of light occultists that were working in the late 80s and early 90s in the sort of house music scene and other electric dance sort of that sort of genre to actually try and raise the consciousness and the vibration for your music.
Yeah, because obviously all we ever hear about is like the bad side of the music industry and how it's all in with the Illuminati and all the boogeymen and that. But I suppose if there was a good side, they'd be trying to use the same tactics to waken us up.
Yeah, and I think that and I do think that maybe it's like to look at this like a pendulum swinging or like the yin and the yang. At this point, there is clearly an imbalance. At what we call this point in time, 2023, in the peasant verse, there is clearly an imbalance between the light and the dark, and the dark is winning. If you look at like the general, how most people are living their lives on the planet.
Listen, right, I just read a comment earlier that said, Andy, come on, please be positive, like we're gonna win, blah blah. Okay, that's cool, that's everyone's entitled to their opinion. If you think that good always wins over evil, take a look at what happened between 1939 and 1945. Right, if you think good will always win, look how many millions of people died. Like it always gets darkest before the light. I don't think we're at the crescendo of fuckery yet.
What define what winning is? In my mind, winning is what has already happened in the minds of most of the people, or if not all the people watching the show.
Yeah, precisely.
It's the level of understanding and the level of perception and altitude.
We have to be
realistic
realists.
to look at this from the outside and observe it for what it is.
We have to be realists, right? We're not going to stop what's going to come in. If they want to take away cash, they're going to do it. If they want to put in a digital currency, they're going to do it. If they want to implement Britney Spears passports, they're going to do it. We're not going to stop that. We might prolong it, but we're not going to stop it.
No, but what it is our responsibility to make sure that there is the network of minds and people that are ready to carry on and do something different and to form that black market. Or black rocket instantly, and and
you have to live parallel to it, simultaneously alongside it, and that's why it's most important to teach the children.
I mean, just because we're not going to be trading Rothschild tokens anymore, and they want us to do CBDC crypto shekels, what? We won't find something else to trade with.
Precisely.
What are you talking about? What you're gonna stop one of the oldest things that man has ever done?
That's
trade. They're not gonna stop that. What the Amish community don't trade with the Mennonites or the other sort of similar groups. Yeah. They don't use dollars.
No. They churn butter, chop wood.
It's like this march towards the final thing, the eschaton, whatever that is for the current farmer class of the peasant sphere, right? Whatever that goal is, wherever it's going. Winning is not taking part. Winning is realising that for what it is. Number two, it's not taking part. And number three, it's sidestepping and creating something for yourself. That's winning. I think
I agree.
Too much effort into trying stopping something that is likely to be completely unstoppable anyway. And secondly, it's probably quite an important part of the process for this realm in its entirety. Whatever's going on, and I do think it's akin to something like a battery or an electric circuit. Well, if all those people that are happy, or those NPCs or normies or whatever, if they are real people, if they're happy to take part and be cells in that battery, maybe we should be thankful that they are, so that we can actually step aside and that battery still, whatever that battery is powering, still gets fed, and we're just not a part of it. Maybe it's barking up the wrong tree to even imagine what would happen if everyone in the whole world did wake up at once. And they all stepped out the matrix all at once, and whatever it's been feeding for all these millennia was suddenly hungry and starving. Imagine what could be the consequences of that. So, I am paraphrasing what Lee said when he came on the show before there, but it's a very interesting point. Whatever's been going on, this energy extraction, this loosh harvesting, whatever it's been powering or feeding has been going on for a very long time. So, maybe we should be thankful for those that are giving up their energy and loosh for free.
Yeah. Just to wrap up there, now I agree with Andy. I think we are in a bit of trouble. What convinced me the most of it was I think it's part of the plan anyway. About 6 weeks ago on social media, especially on Elon Musk one, there was quite a lot of freedom to go after the ADL and the tribe. And it built up and it built up. And it seemed like everyone was waking up to what was going on. There was people going on. They'd had enough of the Ukraine stuff. And it felt like everyone was waking up. They used their special card, in my opinion. They used the Trump card, which is the tribe was attacked. And obviously through their history, it just, I don't know, it's inside everyone, it just brings them straight back. And I reckon 90% of the truth has jumped on this wagon, either side, either they're on one side or the other. And I think we lost most of them, but I think that's for a reason, like I say. I think when it comes to it, even the people who think they're awake and are going to end up taking the mark. So that's just from my view of what I believe might happen, or just from my experiences in life.
That's a very valid point, I think.
Absolutely.
I do believe, I'm totally with you. This is happening for a reason. This consciousness is being farmed and being trimmed and filleted. And they're filleting it more. They're skimming off all the next people that are going to fall for the next current thing. It's happening for a reason.
Yeah,
the game is to be the last one standing.
Yeah. I think you're exactly right. They're taking off the levels and they're using each card. Whichever one that you're most passionate about, that's the one we're losing them over.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been interesting. Since I've made these memes, I'll finish off now. Since I've been making the memes, my eyes have been wide open now. And I'm just seeing so much more than I did before about everything. So yeah, I'll let you wrap up. I'll be in touch anyway, lad.
Awesome to chat to you,
Talk
my
about
man.
my other channel. I'll give you a message sometime about my other channel and what that's all about, and maybe we can get together again.
100%, mate.
Thank you very much. Take care. Great show.
Thanks,
Thank you.
brother. To Rise Above.
Cheers.
Rise above,
Cheers.
generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above.
Right,
we've got right, guys, whoever wants to call in, right, be quick off the mark. Yeah, we've got Baz waiting to call in, we've got Laura waiting to call in, and we've got Helen the Phoenix waiting to call in.
And we've got to get through those in 20 minutes before we've got some music from Jen.
That is correct, yeah.
Okay, you take the next call. I'm going to get a drink.
Somebody hit it on the line. Let's do some comments. We've got 276 peasants tuned in. It's pretty good for a Friday night. So we've got all the regulars in the chat. Auntie Covia, Hogdown Munchies here. Hello, we've got a caller. Here we go. Hello, you're live and Rise Above. Please don't say the C or the V word. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, who is that?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us? You're live and Rise Above.
Oh, hi, it's Laura.
Hey, Laura, how's it going? Please don't say the C or the V word.
Okay, that's cool.
How's it going? What can we do for you this evening at Customer Services? How may we assist you?
Oh, it's just lovely to call in and say hello, for one thing.
Oh, okay. Hello.
How are you?
Hi, Laura.
Oh God, I bet I sound really squeaky.
Have you turned yourself off on the TV? You're just treating it the same as a phone
I'm
call?
I'm just gonna walk through to my kitchen. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you absolutely loud and clear. You are live on Rise Above. How does it feel?
Oh wow! Finally. Oh, it's lovely. I just I really wanted to call in and say, like, I really appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you.
Yeah, like it's great. And obviously I made a few, I've spoken on Rise Above and stuff, not like live or anything, but I've spoken to you sort of through messages or whatever and everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so nervous.
There's no need to be nervous. There's no need to be nervous. I know it must be freaky, actually being live on the show. Just imagine you're on the phone to us. Just imagine you're on the phone.
Yeah, I'm not very savvy with anything. So, obviously I'm going to be 40 next year, and my teenage children know how to do TikTok and all this rubbish thing, but I had no idea. So, yeah, it's bizarre bringing up.
It's been a journey over the last 3 years, and I know you've been sort of with us.
Yeah.
Right, almost right from the start. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, for me, I overthink everything. So I'm constantly worrying about, I was going to say this wrong, say that wrong. And but on the other hand, I'm quite outspoken, and I've lived a bit of a journey through the whole last 3 years, if you like, and rebelled against a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you know, that all stems from a lot of guidance from you guys, you know, because I was in a bit of an isolated situation, if you like, and I had this outlet all of a sudden that was Rise Above, and it was like, oh, finally, you know. Living in Cornwall is a very lonely place at times, and
well, we
does
were
that
just
make
happy.
sense?
Yeah, no, totally. We were just happy, you know, for us that when we first started out, and of course now as well. Friday night was like our sanctuary where, you know, all the stupid crap that we'd had to listen to all week. And you know, sometimes bite our tongues, sometimes not. That all got stored up, and it had to come out. And you know, we often wondered sometimes when we started, you know, people just going to think that we're just like, oh, looking at conspiracy theories and then just ranting about them. But like, it's so good to hear that people like yourself, you know, it was a space for all of us so that we could, like, yes, there's other people that look at this and think, wow, this is really retarded clown world. Like, what's going on?
Highly retarded clown world.
I know. I mean, I've always been like labelled as a bit of a mentalist. If you like.
A mentalist, I like it.
Yeah. And my granddad, he was labelled the number one conspiracy theorist back in the 70s, really. And a lot of his art, he was an artist, so he used to paint a lot of what is happening now. You know, I've like loads of his art that kind of relate to the situation of today. And it's quite weird because I remember as a little girl, him sitting me down, telling me exactly what was going to happen that's happening now. And so, and I remember when I was probably about 8 years old, so my granddad, my mum was a bit of an alcoholic when I was a child, and my dad was very, very young. Okay. And my granddad brought me up, really. But they said he had autism and all this stuff. But he told me that he had an encounter. So he was in Nottingham at the time with 3 beings, and they kind of like spoke to him in a different language. You know, it wasn't in. It was like relating through his brain, if you like. And it said, "This is what's going to happen." Blah 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 blah. Like a download. Yeah. So my granddad, right, this young boy, went to his dad and his mum, who were kind of quite well to do, if you like, and they whipped him. And they said, "You will never speak about this again." And so my granddad kept it very, very quiet. And then when we went to him, he would tell us all about it. And then I went to school. Yeah, and I kind of got labelled a bit of a weirdo, but I knew there was something in it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. My teachers thought I was such a weirdo at school. They would like call my parents in to speak to them about it. Instead of has been watching strange movies.
Shout out to Sinstar Dread. He's tuned in. Sorry,
big shout out to Steve.
That.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I expect a lot of people that watch the show, Laura, had similar experiences throughout their childhood or growing up, or maybe felt to be like the odd one out or a bit weird.
I like it.
Yeah. Hey, nowadays I wear that as a badge of pride. Like, what's the saying?
Yeah.
To be labelled sane in what is it? To be normal in like a profoundly sick world is no measure of sanity. It's something like that. It's like, you know, if we
the ones that are deemed by the majority insane are actually sane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. It's just like it's uncomfortable at times, isn't it?
No one said living amongst peasants and, you know, clown world was going to be easy. Unfortunately, it's hard. You got to be tough.
Yeah, I know. And
otherwise, you just get absorbed by it, Laura. You can't let clown world beat you down.
Yeah, so I mean, like you probably, I think I spoke to you before about obviously I lost my job for certain reasons and stuff, and also my so the reason why I remember you, Lance, so like vividly is because my son got attacked quite a couple of years ago, and nobody did anything about it. And then I recall a situation in Cornwall, and there was loads of police officers and everything, and there was no one there for my son, you know, and it was like, what the hell is going on here? You know, like, no one's allowed to speak, no one's allowed to, like, talk, but yet people are allowed to beat up my autistic kid, you know. What, like...
Where are the priorities?
Absolutely. And that made me turn, massively made me turn to a different way of living. And, you know, both my children went to school, and I took them out. I was like, you ain't going there anymore. And I saw things from a different perspective from that moment, I think, because I thought, okay, this isn't what I thought the world was about. You know what I mean?
I think everyone had a different wake up call, or the people that had a wake up call. It was often like different. It wasn't just, you know, what we were being told on the screens. It was seeing people's reactions to it, whether it was people in official roles, whether it was their friends and family, whether it was their work colleagues. Often it was their reaction to what was going on was the real wake up call for some people, and thinking, you know, how easy is it for them to turn and to go so clearly against logic and, you know, just doing the right thing. So
yeah. And that's the thing. And I think changing the subject slightly, I think now what I'm seeing is a large amount of, like, obviously I've got 2 teenage children who are actually doing really well in life, but a lot of the children coming out of school with mental health problems, and kind of being pushed in that direction. And that's quite worrying. And not just children, but also friends. Lots of friends coming out and saying that they have lots of mental health problems and can't cope with life. And it's like, I'm finding that really, really tough to listen to, because, you know, like, I feel like there's a lot of excuses being made for things that are not actually a big deal. That sounds really hard.
Do you think it might be something to do with how the media have been telling everyone they need to be worried about their mental health for the last 15 years?
Oh my God, it is like, I think that this is the next problem.
When I make a post about that on Facebook, every time I mention it, it really touches people's nerves. But
I had a friend come over recently, and he decided to turn on me because I made the slightest comment. You know, it wasn't a big deal. He was like, you're like causing me mental health. I was like, no, I'm not causing you mental health. I find this really, really damaging to the soul. And like, we're all human beings, right? There's lots of things that we deal with in life. And, but there's way more things that people think that they have an excuse to, use that card. That it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And majority of the time, you know, if I turn around and say, well, if people talk about their mental health, like, and they use it as an excuse, people go, oh, how dare you?
And do you know what I find as well, Laura? People who have real, genuine mental health issues,
they don't talk about it now.
They are the last people to go around demanding special treatment, talking about their mental health issues. So it's very paradoxical as well.
Exactly. They don't talk about it. I mean, all through my life growing up, you know, we always knew that somebody's like a bit of depression or something bad, you know, happening in their life and all of that. But nowadays, it's like an excuse for everything. I don't care. Like, it is. And I will
I
call
think
them
that's
out on
been
it.
programmed into your average consumer of the
Yeah,
mainstream
yeah.
media for at least 10 years. Definitely.
Laura, we're gonna move on to the next caller. Have you got any,
Okay.
have you got any
It's been
closing
great to hear
thoughts?
from you. I'm so glad you called in.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
awesome,
no,
awesome.
so lovely.
I know
so
you're a
lovely
bit
to
nervous
speak
at the
to you.
start, but I hope you've settled down a bit, and I hope you've enjoyed.
Thank
Have you
you,
got any
thank
closing
you.
thoughts that you want to finish with?
No, not at all. I just want you guys to know, like, I appreciate everything that you do, and
Oh, thanks.
love you all so much.
Awesome.
Really appreciate
All right.
it.
That's great to
Love
hear
you
from you.
too,
Thanks, Laura.
Yes, bye.
Bye-bye.
Rise
Take
above.
care.
Rise above, generate, rise above, distinguish
Right.
fear, rise above.
We've got Helena Felix is waiting to call in.
She's supposed to be next, and guys,
And-
remember, it is sort of like first call, first serve. It's the customer services department. So please don't get upset if you missed your slot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are encouraging Helena to call in next from Australia.
And we have got Baz, who has been struggling to call in for some reason we don't know, and we're going to try and call
For
him.
anyone who wants to know how to call in, the number is literally on the screen. It's 07983696691.
And if you're a peasant from outside the UK peasant sphere, it's +44 is the code, the Schwab code.
So you can use WhatsApp. You can call us on WhatsApp, or you can do a regular terrestrial.
Should we do a
call.
quick merch plug?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to support Rise Above, which will always...
No, we've got Baz on the line.
It's called Baz.
Oh, Baz, right, you are live on Rise Above. Please don't say the C or the V word.
How's it going, Baz?
Mate, it sounds lively there.
Right, yeah, this is from the Ramish birthday party,
It
right?
sounds lively there, my man.
Hello, who's that? Is that still Baz?
Hello.
Is it
Baz,
just,
get somewhere where we can hear you.
I think he's just got us on loudspeaker.
Okay.
Gosh. We've never had a call like this before.
We've literally got a party.
So
on the
for
line.
anyone that's wondering what's going on, this is a house party where it's a happy birthday shout out to
A
Pollyanna.
Ramish house party.
Happy birthday to Steve. Is it Ramish Day's birthday? We can confirm that. Massive happy birthday to Dave.
Let me tell you, unbelievable.
So, guys, thank you very much for calling up. But I'm just going to be blatantly honest. Just hearing a house party isn't the best experience to the rest of the viewers.
Have you got anything to contribute to the show tonight, guys, or are we just going to ring in and have a shout out to all the good guys at the party?
We've got a live performance for you. If you
That actually's come through quite nicely.
I'm losing it again. There's people in the government, they don't allow my friends. I'm losing it. No, I'm joking.
That actually came through quite nicely.
That was
Yeah,
pretty-
yeah,
that
yeah.
was not
Well
bad at all,
done.
not bad at
Well
all.
done.
We have a little impromptu.
Gosh.
performance.
Right,
We
guys.
need to get on with the show. We're just giving you a quick check-in.
Yeah, no worries. Always good to hear from the Ramish community. Enjoy the rest of the party, guys. Enjoy the rest of the party.
See you later, guys.
See you soon, guys.
Rise above, generate, rise above, distinguish fear, rise above, abstract.
Oh wow, it's
Awesome.
been a lively customer services so
It has
far
tonight.
tonight.
The phone lines are buzzing.
So
Right,
yeah.
Helen the Phoenix, if you want to call in, the lines are open.
Oh, we've got on
Here we go. There we go.
That's a UK number.
A UK number.
Welcome to Rise Above.
You're live and Rise Above. Please don't say the C or the V word.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Who's this?
I just wanted to say how great Laura's little segment was there.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
how
who are we talking to?
brilliant- Oh, Catherine.
Catherine.
Hi,
Hey,
Catherine.
how's it going,
How
Catherine?
you doing?
Hiya. It's really nice to hear so many people call in.
Absolutely, we're really pleased. I think that getting this phone line was a win because not everyone has Skype, not everyone knows how to download it on their phone. It's a bit temperamental.
Not everyone can be fucked.
Yeah. Now we've got the Rise Above phone. It's great because we're hearing from loads of people and it's been really busy. So, how long have you been watching the show?
About a year.
About a year.
Okay.
I came on to you from sounds funny. I found you through Sheep Farm, actually.
Right, okay, yeah.
Shout out to Dom and Chris.
yeah.
That's a good route. That's a trusted, safe route to rise above through Sheep Farm, I think.
Absolutely.
We've got somewhat of a different style of broadcasting to Sheep Farm.
Oh, I just love those guys. Don't they make you laugh? They're so hilarious.
I do love a good chat with Dom and Chris, I can't lie.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, it's just a quick one, really. I'll keep it short. All I was going to say was the one thing that I have predominantly noticed now is that if you talk to anybody in the kind of the post can't say it C era, is actually how many people are very quick to say, oh, it's just normal cold. It's just and so I'm seeing that very much with lots of people who are exhibiting symptoms of what we normally have. And actually, it's just bugs going around. It's just this, it's just that. It's anything other than, and to the point of where I work, lots of people are being forced to go back into work, and they're going back in, and they're going back in with all these symptoms that a few years ago they would never have gone back into work with.
Been quarantined.
And you kind of think, well, how have you rationalised that a few years ago you couldn't go out and now you can? And so that's just my...
I think you've touched on a really important point there, right? Because for a lot of people who will certainly absolutely flat out refuse to look at the bigger picture of what's gone on, just to say, what a load of bullshit, it was just a bad flu. That's a great get out line. But the thing is, it's very important to note, that's also been part of the programming, because if you look at all of the new, the promotional goods for the new Britney Spears tour, in the UK anyway, it's go and get your Divok and your glue jab at the same time.
Yeah,
so
they've
already rolled the two into the one.
One of my close family members last year, they got, in the same day, they got a Schwab jab for Divok 91 and the Who jab. They had to go to get the Schwab jab in the morning, and they had to come back for a second sitting in the afternoon.
So after 3 years of Britney Spears and Divok, after the hype has worn down, rather than being a headlining concert, it just gets lumped together with the flu.
It's only a matter of time before they Schwab it into one actual one shot, one pot shot.
I think it might have already happened.
One dart.
So I think you made quite an interesting point there. That's definitely an observable phenomenon, I think.
And it's a weird one because those same people are the ones queuing up for the 3-dart finish that you're talking about, because they're still all queuing up for it.
Yeah, well, maybe they just think, well, if I'm going, I'll just they rolled it in with the other injection for the, it sounds like glue, so why not? I think that's just pure laziness in many cases, and just at least just a carelessness to even attempt to think what's going on.
What do you think is power of fear?
I think I honestly don't think there's any other way to describe it apart from this new term that's been coined of mass formation psychosis. It's just
Don't forget the cult actors won.
The unwillingness to not acquiesce to what is the general consensus of what to do. What everyone's going to do. The TV said that 95% of people have done it. Why wouldn't I? I have to do it to go on holiday when you didn't. I want to travel. I want to be able to do this. You didn't have to do it. None of it was true. But it didn't matter. But what mattered is the general consensus, I think. And in many cases, it's just people's unwillingness to have the
people's retardedness.
Well, no, because they want a lot of people with very high IQs and very smart people.
But intellect doesn't equate to wholesome intelligence.
Yeah, but the retarded just means slow. These people have very fast brains, but they didn't have the.
Yeah, but they've been spiritually held back. They're quite literally retarded. That's the
SQ. It's like your spiritual Q.
Yeah. You're spiritually retarded.
Yeah, spiritually retarded. Okay, we've got it. We've nailed it. Yeah, good point.
Well, what I will say there is that all the carpenters, electricians, and plumbers that I know, they work through all of that, and they still continue to have a higher intellect. So maybe actually it's not about intellect. It's about an emotional IQ.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Intellect doesn't equate to wholesome intelligence. Intellectual and intelligence are two completely different things. You can be really intelligent with a high IQ, like I know many people have, and just walked straight into the Britney Spears concert.
Most doctors have got an above average IQ. They're all high IQ.
Yeah, exactly. But they're still peasants at the end of the day. So, but that's what I mean.
You can have £1
It
million in the bank and have a really high IQ and still be a total peasant.
precisely.
That's
It doesn't
the
equate
funniest
to
thing.
wholesome intelligence,
Yeah.
which means everything.
Okay, well, my final takeaway, guys, I think you're brilliant. I think the whole show's brilliant. And I just want to say a big thank you. I will say, I know Sheep Farm say this regularly. Oh, my goodness, those people that woke up during that last 3 years, I was one of those. And I think I did it quite quickly. But, oh, my goodness, they're right. What a complete shock to the system.
Was it a rough ride?
A quick, rough ride, but very grateful to all you guys. Thank you.
Oh, that's good.
No,
It's
thanks
awesome
so
to
much.
speak
It's
to you.
good
Thank
to hear
you.
from you. Thanks very much for the feedback. It means a
Cheers.
lot.
That's great, Catherine. Awesome to speak to you. Rise above.
Rise above, generate, rise above, distinguish fear, rise above.
Yeah, we're
I think it's
gonna
about time we had a little interval with some music. Are you ready over there, Jen?
guys. We're gonna close the phone lines for 20 minutes.
I'll give you a minute. So just before we have a quick interval, if you want to support what we do here at Rise Above, so we keep broadcasting, believe it or not, producing a show like this actually costs quite a lot of money with all of our different software licenses and all of the different programs I have to run to make this happen.
And none of us take a wage.
None of us get paid from this. But if you want to try and support us, and so that I don't have to keep dipping into my bank account to make all this happen, it would be amazing if you could go onto our website and purchase.
Yeah, we've got some cool shit up there. You know.
We've got some very cool shit. Let's have a look exactly.
None of it's
what
from
we've got.
China either. Oh, we got someone ringing in. I'm not gonna answer that. Oh, go on quickly. Go on.
We'll give them 2 minutes.
Hello, you're live and Rise Above. Please don't say the C or the V word. Who are we talking to?
Hello, PG. It's Coop Dog.
Coop Dog. How's it going, brother?
Yeah, pretty good, bro. It's been,
Awesome, mate. We're gonna have to make this a speedy call because we're gonna have some music from Sister and Sounds.
Oh, shall I try and put it down into a very quick process?
Yeah,
First
mate.
of all,
Yeah. Shoot. Yeah. What's on your mind?
Big up to you guys. What's on my mind is basically like every little bit of madness that keeps coming on our way, like the next process. So at the moment, all these wars, these fake wars, everything has a simile, right? Everything seems to seem like the same problems, the same issues, the same problems. So my point is, what I'm trying to say to you guys is like, at what point do we just this rise above and move on? Because that's the mantra. My wife says to me, "That's your mantra, rise above, always rise above." So obviously we don't talk about certain things, but we're going to talk about the Palestine thing. That's weird. Rise above. But at what point do we move on? Because that's a crazy concept. Because everything is absolutely nuts as shit. We all know it. All of us know it. We all know it's a clown world. But at what point do we just move on?
Well, I think immediately, or 3 years ago.
Listen, right? I started reporting back on Clown World because of popular demand. Most of last year, we were trying to talk about
the occult.
Well, we were talking about other subjects, but we're trying to talk about solutions and stuff like that. But I actually got so many requests. It's I got these emails saying we thought your best work was when you were dissecting what was going on in Clown World. So
nice. No, that's nice. That's nice to hear.
I respect you asking the question. I respect you asking the question, and I think that we produce the show like this because we at the moment I think that to try and soften the blow, people need some entertainment. But you're right. What point do we move on? And I think
I've been with you guys from day dot. In Circa, I've been with you, Circa. I shook your hand, I looked you in the eye, and I said, "You have good energy. There's something beautiful about you, mate, and PG, the whole team. There's something beautiful about just getting together and moving on forward into a better direction." And I'm a family man. My wife woke up in COVID. I woke up at 9/11. So we're all at different journeys. I've got young kids. and they're questioning everything too. So it's beautiful, right? But what time? Like I like the fact you turn your back on the whole Israel-Palestine thing. I get that. I love it because what's the point? Max Egan's one of my heroes. But I can't listen to it because what's the point in keep listening to the same thing? Because I don't know. I'm not really articulating myself very well because I'm a bit nervous. You can tell
I get what you're saying, and I think what we're trying to foster in an effort to answer your question is an approach that you can live with this stuff going around you, but to foster a view on it where you're not drawn into things like Israel, Palestine, because many shows that or channels that are a bit like us are going to be, doing a lot of anti-Israel content, a lot. And hey, let's face it,
human beings.
Yeah, but we have. It's not like we haven't been critics of Zionism and talked about the history of that and the thing behind it in the past. But for us, it's about not being sucked into those pendulum.
Yeah, I get it. I know.
Don't give it your energy, mate. Don't let it harvest you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for the last probably 8 weeks or something. Now and again, I just dip my toe in, and then I'm like, it's almost like, God, we're back again. We're back in the madhouse because like human sacrifice going on, blah blah blah, and so don't give the attention. Move on, but it's not like being. Trying to say the right words here. It's not like being ignorant, is it?
No. Right, okay, right. Hold up. Right, I'm just going to chip in.
We're not giving it our loose, right?
No. I'm just going to chime in here, right? You just mentioned human sacrifice, right? Let me tell you, right? Nothing that's going on now in clown world, from human sacrifice to indoctrination through education to the poison of the food, it's nothing that hasn't been going on for thousands of years, hundreds or thousands of years, right? Nothing changes but the technology, right? So just because a few more people have come to the understanding that human sacrifice didn't just happen when Aztecs cut people's head off and threw them down a pyramid, it's very much alive in this day and age. It's just underground. It's a bit of a shock to the system purely from the educational indoctrination we've all been fed over the last 33 years or however long we've lived for. So
I think I can sum it up in this saying that was brought to the table by, I think it was Lee in a Guardian. It's something like this: if you ignore the devil, he will consume you. If you try to fight the devil face to face, he's just going to kill you. He'll batter you 10 times out of 10. It's much harder than you. So you've got to dance. So you remember this. So what you've got to do, you dance with the devil.
That's beautiful.
You dance with the devil, and you use the spiritual progression and the muscles that you train by dodging and weaving to become stronger.
Your mental fortress.
Yeah, building the mental fortress. And I think
I think to be fair to you guys, I mean, like, listen, by the way, it's my 50th birthday this weekend. Away with the wife. Kids are at home. They're a little bit older.
Happy birthday, mate.
And,
happy birthday.
Thank you very much indeed. But you guys have been like, I think probably Serco's speech when I first sort of got hold of PG and lads. And off you lads went, and it was that real handle that you had on that madness of that time, that moment in time. And you guys every Friday night could tune in, have a little bit of ritual, especially when you got family members that don't listen to you and blah blah blah. It was just fucking beautiful. And now I feel there's another crisis going on. And I'm with you, by the way, guys. I wasn't trying to sort of be like you or trying to sort of.
No, not at all. Not at
all. I just felt like it was. It's been a thing of mine for fucking years. About the old Palestine thing. That's been for fucking years now. It's exactly the same as 9/11, as COVID, the media, and everyone just laps it all up. Well, like people like you're like truth warriors out there giving us the real information, and we love it. So it's just a bit like, I don't know. Do you know what? I'm not even sure what I'm really saying or what I'm asking. I think you guys are beautiful.
I appreciate it. It must be kind of surreal calling up when you've watched us for a while and now you're on the phone and live on the show.
Oh, I'm in the spare room in the hotel in my wife's speech. Look, we had some Schwab burgers and off we went. Schwab burgers. And but the point is, I said to my wife about she's very much on the spiritual level, and she's more on these. A lot of people are projecting stuff.
Oh, mate, trust me, we're all on the spiritual level.
Will it be our grandchildren or great grandchildren? Because my wife says it's never going to happen. These 15 cities, she says it's never going to happen. She's beautiful, man. She's a warrior. She says it's never going to happen. Absolutely not a chance. And do you know what? I'm kind of with her. I mean, what do you guys reckon? Will it happen? Will we really get to that point?
What you saying? The Great Awakening is never going to happen, or their plan's never going to happen? What do you mean?
Their plan, which is the Great Awakening, but theirs. Not the Great Awakening. I kind of think it's the same thing.
Their plan is happening. It is coming.
Yeah, I think it might be the same thing as well.
Don't forget, it's a tiptoe. They can't do it all in one. When you say, will their plan come to fruition? Their plan hasn't got an end game. It's a development.
Yeah.
It's an everlasting in 100 years, whatever enslavement's been implemented within 100 years, they'll then build on that and find other ways to enslave people.
It's a bit like a radish growing in a field in one crop and going, oh, do you think they're going to win? Do you think the farmer's going to win? Talking about being harvested that time. Little do they know that the harvest goes on year after year.
There's a new technology, and then fuck me, the combine.
That's about black.
And then fuck me, the combine harvester gets invented.
There's Phoenix comes along as a combine harvester.
Yeah.
Maybe I was pushing, guys. I wasn't looking for answers.
Basically, no.
You're just getting more questions, mate.
Here we go. Right, okay. Well, the reason I do this, right? People say, like, are you battling? It's really good. You're fighting the system. You're battling the system. I'm not fighting the system or battling the system. I'm living alongside it in my own way. And the reason I do Rise Above is if I can help other people to live alongside it and not be as traumatized by it, then that's what I'm if you want to call it fighting the system, that's the way I'm doing it.
It's called being Ramish.
Yeah, just be Ramish.
PG, maybe this is my Ramish thing. I accept the question. I don't know the answer.
No,
none of us do, mate. None of us do. But all I know is shit's not gonna slow down. It's only gonna get faster. So the more Ramish people get, the quicker, the better for everyone.
Yeah, get Ramish
quicker.
Right.
Like,
would you recommend every human being get a panic plan?
No, don't panic. The last thing you want to do is panic. Don't get a plan to panic. I know what you're saying.
Get water, get your supplies in, and blah blah blah.
Just do as much as you can.
It would never be a bad idea to do that anyway.
Don't forget, not everyone. People
if you
live.
Were a psycho, what would you do? Like to fuck humanity? Like you turn off the net. Everyone put everything into the net. The internet. Everyone put everything. The photos.
But hold up. They can't operate without the internet.
No, I reckon they could turn off the peasant net.
You could turn off the peasant net, but then how much of look at the huge billion-dollar industries, trillion-dollar industries like fuel and energy. They have to. Without the peasant sphere being turned on digitally, they can't get the money to fund all their shit.
Yeah, but it's not about money. But you imagine if you were the dark overlord of the peasant sphere, and you were born on fucking loosh and dark energy, what would you do to turn off the fucking? What would you do?
I do exactly what they're doing now.
Yeah, poison the food supply, mind control everyone through media, like literally do everything you can.
What about a boo? Would you have a boo moment? Because you know what, I'm with you guys. I'm a little bit concerned, even though like I'm an elder, like these, I consider an elder, got silver hair and stuff, but. If I was a psychopathic overlord, which I'm not, I'm a beautiful human being. I fucking love humanity. There's so much beauty in
I don't fucking like humanity. Fuck.
I like Ramish people.
There's a lot of fucking beauty in humanity.
There is some. Yeah, some.
But if I was a psycho overlord, I would fucking turn the internet off tomorrow. And then you're fucked. Everything's fucked. I mean, that's what and they can't do it so quickly because
personally,
too much content to wake up. Right?
Personally, I would enjoy that. I would enjoy if the internet got turned off for a small period of time.
Right, guys, we've got to have an interval.
We've got to wind this up.
Coke Dog.
Sorry, guys.
It's been great to hear from you, but this could be crazy customer services so far. We've got to have a very short break.
We've been gobbing off for 2. We've been gobbing off for 2 hours 9 minutes solid. Now we've got to have a little break, and Sister of Sound's going to drop some beats.
I just walked back in from my Schwab meal. My Schwab burger down in the Cotswolds has been lovely. So,
Excellent. I hope it was everything you hoped and wished it would be. Right, we got 271 peasants tuned in. We're going to have to wind this up.
And I'm happy. That's the point.
Excellent.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Right, good to hear from you, mate.
You all. I love you so much, guys. You guys are fucking inspirational. Keep going. Push
thank you.
Take care,
lots of love. Lots of love. Bye, bro.
Rise above, generate, rise above, distinguish fear, rise above, abstract.
Hit it.
Sister and Sound. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
They tried to fill your mind with fear, to subjugate your love, materialize your being so you'll never have enough. Never have enough. They'll try to take away your heart, to segregate your mind, but love for one another, it'll never be a crime. Never be a crime. It's all mind control, this state that we're living in. It's all mind control, and I'm never giving in. So turn off that bullshit that you're watching on the telly, 'cause they've got us wrapped around their little fingers already. Aren't you sick of all the heady and unnecessary noise? They're playing with your mind just like it were a toy, and I'm tired of struggling just to fight for my life. Too much juggling can make a man go blind, 'cause we could all unite and face things one step at a time. They take the time to pile on the strife, and so it's all mind control, the state that we're living in. It's all mind control, and I'm never giving in. No, no. It's all mind control, this state that we're living in. It's all mind control, and I'm never giving in. No, I'm never giving in. No, I'm never giving in. No, I'm never, never, never giving in. No, I'm never giving in.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Gil Scott Heron. We'd like to do a poem for you called The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. Primarily because it won't be.
Because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Mendel Rivers to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner. The revolution will not brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run, or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on reports from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he had been saving for just the right occasion. It will not be televised. It will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Mendel Rivers to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. It will not be televised.
When you study the historic nature of revolution, the motive
Guys,
of
let us know in the chat if the levels are good. Let us
the
know.
objective of a revolution, and the result of a revolution, and the methods used in a revolution. You may change words. You may devise another program. You may change your goal, and you may change your mind. Look at the American Revolution in 1776. That revolution was for what?
That's what I am. Watch this. I just the strength of the most high we have in our corner. And we are fighting for rights, no retreat, no surrender. I will turn it to the red with a rubber dog soldier. I will show you militants the way I know you push over. Watch this. For the agenda, now go surrender. Office stand firm for your militant cause. You must remember, I was sent you on a mission. I don't come here for massage. Agenda, now go surrender. Office stand firm every time. You must remember, I was sent you to cross all borderline. Won't be a victim of your promise or your lie, you know. In your system, we say another mother cry, you know. Won't be a victim of your promise or your lie, you know. Have to get a blind, you know. Peace or the pie, you know. Get a youth to rise and reach to the sky, you know. Ask them where and ask them why, you know. Why you don't want the little youth get high, you know. Give them a blind, you know. Reach for the agenda. I don't surrender. Have to stand firm for your militant cause. You must remember, I was sent you on a mission. I don't come here for massage. Hey, agenda, now go surrender. Have to stand firm every time. You must remember, I was sent you to cross all borderline. Hey, this generation brings the vibration. On some earth, take a deep meditation. Me not go run from no war, me a African. Me not go sing them song. Nah, giving to them land of slavery. Rudy, now go make no guy come use me. Rudy, now go make no guy come confuse me and abuse me. Watch this. I just the strength of the most high we have in our corner. And we have no retreat, no surrender. I will turn it to the red with a rubber dog soldier. I will show you militants the way I know you push over. Watch this.
In the beginning, have to go on if we want to move forward in the future. There must be unity, but I don't know where the unity's gone. Consciousness gone wrong in the Gideon dawn. Cause new beginning, have to go on if we want to move forward in the future.
what happens as soon as I step away from the buttons. Sound of the sister and sound. Okay, I've sorted out the clipping now. I kept turning it up because people said it was so quiet. And now it's clipping. It's Al Gore, it's not our equipment.
Fuck Al Gore.
That's right, Andy PG.
Too much of the youth, them blood is spilling. Instead of killing, the side I will be tilling. I just strictly love I'll be giving. No more hatred, cause life is just for living. All my trespasses will be forgiven. This is for my fallen fighters now who are missing. So much trouble in the world.
Rise above on the Friday night. Customer services live inside the ride. Big shout to Shiva Shampoo. Yo, 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 yo. This is more than lyrics, practical magic, still quantum physics. Fasting and bargains, evil spirits. Acquiesce to appease my critics. Infinite essence can't be diminished when the fear inside your heart is extinguished. Spellcast Enochian English, and ULL, the unlimited linguist. Sumerian king's list, Nephilim ethics, Sumerian princes. Skeptical methods of mothers and witches and shamans. Mixed parts in the kitchen. Woo! This is a little bit faster than I'm normally used to. Yo. Big up Arthur. Yo. Ramadi. To a Ramadi crew and performers, welcome back to the doors of a mental fortress. You know what the score is, strict entry, dress code flawless. And it's more than enormous, way too much for dying to these paupers. They said double O extorters, free of charge new Ramish orders. Jump in accordance when the general talks more on the chorus. From the second that I saw the Taurus, I knew how to pause the Ouroboros. Yo, live from headquarters for the Ramish sons and daughters. Ooh. Big up Kirsty C. Sister and sound. Oh, we're flipping again.
You are a man and that is that. I'm sorry but gender's a fact. Don't get mad. I'm just telling you drags what you're teaching in school is crap about pregnant man. Bro, that don't exist cause that was never God's plan. He would never want that. Cause that's sodomy, fire and brimstone for anyone that took part in that. In all honesty, if you're gay that really don't bother me. It's the ones who dress up and push it on kids is the one that I've got a problem with. Like them drag queen story time shit where they're reading to kids teaching all that sodomy. How the fuck do you take your kids to this shit? It's the shit that really does bother me. Bow, bow, bow. Magic, magic. You can dress as much as you want as a woman, but please don't teach that shit to my kids. That shit to my kids. That shit to my kids. Magic, magic. You can dress as much as you want as a woman, but please don't teach that shit to my kids. That shit to my kids. That shit to my kids. I'm just trying to protect the kids. Each to their own at home, but at home you should have kept that shit. Going to schools teaching kids it's cool to be publicly dressed like this. It goes against God and he wouldn't want any kid to be subject to this. No way! I'm just trying to protect the kids. Each to their own at home, but at home you should have kept that shit. Going to schools teaching kids it's cool to be publicly dressed like this. It goes against God and he wouldn't want any kid to be subject to this. As a woman, but please don't teach that shit to my kids. That shit to my kids. Sorry, I feel on down Babylon. Come off time, Babylon trick me. Them a move like block, like magician. Them a deal with corruption. All over the world is destruction. You a talk about where you wanna run go. Just know where your block that come from. Now we not like Babylon. Sorry, I feel on down Babylon. Come off time, Babylon trick me. Them a move like block, like magician. Them a deal with corruption. corruption. All over the world is destruction. You want talk about where you wanna run go. Just know where your blood can come from. Let me tell you this, corrupt government have to get dismissed. Them a fuck up my mind with satellite dish. I be a fuck you and it's not the nicest. Some me have to read off a song like this. Can we tired fin and fry fish? Open your eyes and use your eyes. Can't make Babylon them use we like this. I be stand firm in a time like this. Can't get man fi fish, come me on a Pisces. I break it to youth life in a crisis. Why some man a sell out them brethren? We a pure and Nikes. Making a grass, you don't take a rock system, can't laugh. Full time if you don't know the one of them rocks. Give me a blood clot, choke and laugh. Yo, go in a life Babylon. So we have to burn down Babylon. Can't enough time Babylon trick we. Them a move like blood clot magician. Them a deal with corruption. All over the world is destruction. You want talk about where you wanna run go. Just know where your blood clot come from. Go in a life Babylon. So we have to burn down Babylon. Can't enough time Babylon trick we. Them a move like blood clot magician. Them a deal with corruption. All over the world is destruction. You want talk about where you wanna run go. Just know where your blood clot come from. Yo. So we have to tell them, no police officer we not friend them. Chain them up with rope and hang them. Straight to block like hell we are send them. We are gonna end them, not suspend them. Man despise them, not idolize them. But all think we block like them. We have to fight them in time beside them. Every soldier I fight for the same cause. Me and the general and me synchronize them. This family I delegate to the youth them pan road and all juvenile them. Every soldier I fight for the same cause. Me and the general and me synchronize them. This family I dedicate to all the youth pan road and all juvenile them. Go in a like Babylon. So we have to burn down Babylon. All enough time Babylon trick we. Them a move like blood clot magician. Them a deal with corruption. All over the world is destruction. You want talk about where you wanna run go. Just know where your blood clot come from. Go in a like Babylon. So we have to burn down Babylon. All enough time Babylon trick we.
Oh wow.
Them a move like blood clot magician. Them a deal with corruption. All over the world is destruction. You want talk about where you wanna run go. Just know where your blood clot come from.
Sister and Sound. Live in the studio, it's Rise Above. Big shout out to all the Ramily. Happy birthday, Pollyanna. Happy birthday, Dave. Happy birthday, Steve. Ramily crew and performers, welcome back to the doors, Crew and performers. Yo, yo. It's like this. Above resilient wizards and witches, advanced more than 33 inches. On the battlefield, not in the trenches. Them peasants just sit on the benches. Yes, we rise above. My general hat, it fits like a glove. More hope than 33 guns, cause that dirty parasite can't get enough. We rise above and extinguish fear when we generate love. When we generate. Whoa. When we generate. I like that beat. It's more than 232s in the hook. You want lyrics, I write books. Where your head double L overtook. With a statement you can't overlook and I write rhymes you can't unhear. Drop lines, never unclear and I tell them direct to your ear. I doubt the signs that guided us here. And these lines from lost puppeteers you cut through throats like swashbuccaneers. Don't volunteer. No, don't volunteer. It's really that simple, just simply choose not to take part. Much simpler than we first conceived. Sister and Sound. Double LMC. You've heard of me, the flow's poisonous liquid mercury. In my voice when I curse the beat, I let it moisten up and then it's surgery. Guilty as charged, repeat offender. Revealing elitist agenda. Still at large, delete the data. Delete the data. Sister and Sound. Big shout to Live on the Bike, I see ya. Eye for an eye, I see ya. Yo, dangerous statements like third degree burns and hospital patients. Far recent increased engagement, fast speaker procedure replacements. Unleashing a verbal wordplay, leave them seething, gasping, barely breathing, fasting, no more eating, no more 8-bar repeating. Don't greet me, don't greet me. Don't greet me with no seasons greetings, not when we've got preachers teaching kids Satan's teachings. Sister and Sound. That are the deepest. What is a religious extremist? A terrorist with a Wahhabi thesis, or pedo priest that are praying to Jesus, a rabbi circumcising a penis, gesturing God, acting fiendish, lecturing mobs about who is the cleanest, claiming we're equal but acting elitist. Listen up, there's lies in his sermon. Why is that? The vicar is vermin. Hypocrites ain't hard to determine. You gotta rise up and be wise like the serpent. Beware of the saviour serpents peddling in burden. They prey on the weak. Indoctrination is different to learning. Yes. It's Rise Above, everybody. I should have had some sort of button or something to go ready for that. Big up, Sister and Sound. You might just heard me call Andy PG. Yeah, big shout out to Sister and Sound. Come on! Lovely little set there. Okay, so we're back, and once again, in case you didn't already know, this is Rise Above Live, and we have the customer services department open, which means we are fully interactive. Tonight, we've been so interactive, we've barely even done like the first announcements. Just to let everybody know, coming up very, very soon from the Ra Academy, we've got 2 new instalments. We have a 2-hour deep dive interactive seminar from Wisdom of Mushrooms into microdosing, or microdosing as it's sometimes known. I think we have
I did call. Oh, here we go.
We have another caller there.
Good evening, you're on Rise Above. Please don't say the C or the V word.
I know not to say fuck or bugger. Yeah?
You can say fuck. No, you can say fuck or cunt. You just can't say the C or the V.
Yeah. No, don't worry, man.
Who have we got here? Who's on the line?
It's Rob.
Awesome.
Long time watcher, man.
Hi, Rob. How you doing, mate?
Love your show, man. How's it going, man?
Yeah, we're all good.
Show.
Thanks, man. We're all good.
Yeah, like absolutely wicked show, mate. Honestly,
Thank
always.
you very much.
Really appreciate it. And yeah, so I've got to be quick. So I had this idea the other day, and it might not work, and it might already be done. But I'm just going to send an email.
Mate.
Yeah. Like something to chew on, and I'm just going to send you an email with a couple of pictures to explain the idea. But basically, it's an idea to like kind of get water from the ocean with like no like machines needed, and to like make a sort of forest or something, basically.
Okay. So what, like purifying, like salt water?
Desalination, but like this is a simple process rather than like the complicated machines needed for like, you know, powering up or like supplying a whole city or whatever. But more a different thing, like making like farms.
What, more localized?
Yeah. So basically, I was thinking like places where there's coast that's low enough far inland that you could do this, but basically making like canals, and then you connect them all, and then after it's all sort of finished, then you connect it with the ocean so that like it stays at a certain level, and then you have like okay, I'm just going to send the email. I'll explain like the pictures if you want.
You send it over to Rise Above Livestream.
Yeah.
Mate, that vaporizer is a beast.
Mate, this is my mate. Sorry,
speaking of that,
it's made for
okay.
me to sneeze.
My mate gets these sent from California. They're ganja vapes. They're really good.
That, It's
pretty pokey.
amazing.
I've got a Jack Hero one here in the studio. It's particularly pokey.
I think one of the pictures in the touch, I'll try and send it again. But that reminded me of another thing I wanted to talk about, which is that like I was back. So I don't smoke weed now for like 6 months at a time, and then after years of smoking like every day, and then go to London and like, you know, smoke for like a week or whatever, and then go 6 months again. And it's just really amazing when you go that long without it. I just wanted to sort of
totally.
I go through phases. Like I used to smoke a lot more than I do currently. Then I went for a phase of not smoking a lot last year. Then I smoke a fair bit at the moment. But
when I was on the show, I went like for 6 weeks, almost 2 months without smoking.
That was hard, mate. That was hard.
Yeah, just so everyone knows.
Lance was a dick for 2 weeks.
Everyone knows that they can see me smoking the show, but I don't actually smoke during the week anymore. It's sort of like my weekend treat, and I think
really
that's
good.
Yeah, for me that's quite a nice it's a happy medium. But it's good not to be dependent on something. It's good to take. It's certainly good to take a tolerance break.
Yeah, the point I was thinking about was the fact that, like, so I was in London and my mate was talking about, he's got this Canna card. You know, some people can easily, you know, get it, you know, sort of through, you know, NHS-y sort of style things. And it was quite a good thing because people either don't, you know, you either don't smoke at all or you smoke like really strong bud. Like most of the bud in Britain is like really strong. So there's no like sort of happy medium. So it's kind of good that they've you know, made it more accessible, like less strong bud. I think, you know.
So you think that the medical grade stuff is a bit more like of a sensible level of
it is, mate. I've smoked it. It is.
I haven't even sort of tried it, but I just think the idea
I
of
personally
it is really good.
I've got there's one of my friends. I don't see him very often. But he's got a medical condition and he has the UK card, and he says for one, right, it's he has to pay for it, right? So it's very expensive, and it's actually more expensive than to buy on the street from a dealer. Yeah, he says it's more expensive. It's harder to get. Sometimes he has to wait 3 or 4 days after he's placed his order, and it gets delivered from some dude on a bike. Like on a little push bike that comes around,
like Deliveroo, basically.
But basically, he has to take time off work. He has to be. Like, they're not allowed because
that's even more inconvenient than using a regular drug dealer.
Because it's a controlled substance. You can't just leave it or post it through the door or whatever. Someone has to be there to collect it, and he can't. It has to be the person whose name is on the cannabis license card, whatever it is. So it's a fucking inconvenience.
Yeah. It just doesn't work. It's a shame, but like it's a good idea. It'd be a good idea if everyone who smoked weed.
It's not very strong either. The green's not very strong, and it's mass-produced shit as well. It's not grown organically.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it'd be nice if there was one of the nice strains, one of the really nice, tasty ones. Was just
mate, he gets a menu to choose from. He does get a menu to choose from, but it's all of the same grade. None of it's just like mid-range peasant weed.
Yeah, and another thing is the thing is, like, coca leaf tea is actually, like, sort of semi good for people. You know, it's not, like, really, really bad for you. And that's kind of... It would be amazing in future if there's, like, coca leaf tea bars. And that was, like, how people did coke. Like, I think Britain has one of the highest cocaine usage rates in the world.
It's particularly popular
that
here.
Seriously does serious damage, let alone Hovis, mate. Never mind Hovis, bro. Never mind Hovis. There's enough bloody... heart attacks and,
imagine that combination of multiple Britney Spears concerts and a raging coke habit.
Oh man,
combined with a shit diet and no exercise.
Yeah, it's just absolutely terrifying, mate. So it'd be nice in future if like people just did, things in a more natural way and like better for them and probably a better high. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine it's certainly a lot healthier if you to get
people were drinking coca leaf,
coca leaf or chewing the leaf or whatever, like the indigenous people do.
Like NHS bars, but like it was somehow cool, in future, like some sitcom based in like a NHS coca leaf tea bar. I don't know.
The meat suit.
Dreaming here, but
the meat suit in its various different forms has used stimulants as long as recorded history is. So
absolutely,
it's just a case of choosing
doing it the right way. Yeah,
we're choosing one that's not like maybe extracted using like petrol.
Exactly. Yeah. The fact is like, but all these drugs, like things like tobacco, like isn't even a bad thing if it's like this natural substance. Like coca leaf isn't actually bad for humans if we do it in the right way, where we make tea out of it.
Raw sugar,
sorry,
the same.
Rob,
there you go.
Rob, sorry, you mentioned tobacco a minute ago, right?
Yeah.
I've got in my home, I've got a little permaculture garden, and I've actually prepped an area for next year for 2024 to grow my own tobacco. Just because I want to do it, because the Hopi Indians, they used to smoke tobacco, the peace pipe, right? And there was no fucking lung cancer or any,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Howard Marks taught me that. I went to see at this festival, and I went to see Howard Marks before he died, bless him. And he did this talk at like 11 a.m. on the Saturday, so people were already been there for a couple of days, and it was all great.
What year was that?
Like Download or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
My older brother,
it was amazing.
He saw Howard Marks live as well. Dude. He was like smoking joints on the stage and stuff like that.
No. So when I saw him, he had stopped smoking, but he had this he had this glass of wine. Yeah, it was amazing because I'd run out of weed, and I was like, what? I want to have a spliff with Howard Marks, obviously, like.
Yeah,
and but everyone was smoking so much in the tent that I was absolutely fucked just from the amount of people, and so I was like, oh cool, and I was actually really fucked. I was like, wow, like I didn't even need to bring a split, and he came on stage and he's not smoking, but he had a glass of wine that was so big that you could probably pour a whole bottle in it.
Nice.
Like literally, he had a bottle of wine in this amazing massive glass, and like was drinking
like a chalice, a chalice,
and he's saying all this stuff, and he's amazing. He has the crowd in the palm of his hand. And at one point, he said, But tobacco, you know, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's going to say cigarettes are bad." And he's like, "It's this beautiful plant. It's amazing." And some people start booing because obviously, like, their relative had, you know, died from cigarettes or something like that. And and then he explained it was like you're saying, they didn't have high incidence rates of cancer in their tribes, like the original nicotine, and the shamans would smoke 6 3-foot long blunts each, in this hut, and if one of the villagers needed like a painkiller, they would go and sit with the shamans. That's what you did. Like, that was a natural painkiller. You just go and sit with them while they literally hotbox this hut. Like, just like, and then he said, like, oh, like, even the Bible said that, you know, everyone kind of smokes, and like Jesus was made of wine, and you know, like, you know, the you know, the whole process about blood of Jesus was like wine. And then he said Jesus was a wino, and was like, "Wee," and then he's like, and God doth appear in the smoke or something. It's like, God smoked. He's like, "Wee," and then they were like, "But who brought the lighter?" And it's like, Satan appeared in the flame. It's like, "Oh, and Satan brought the lighter," and everyone's like, "Wee." But he's just such a good speaker and like just an amazing guy. But yeah, like.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that. People down in Devon that I know are taking Nicorette patches to help offset the jibby jabby stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so when you said about the nicotine thing, I was like, because that was a thing going around, like the little, like the health and the conscious communities. People were actually chewing Nicorette gum to stop them getting the shedding and the other stuff.
Really? What? Yeah. I mean, how does that work?
I don't know.
Okay.
But that people told me that they were chewing Nicorette guns.
I heard.
So there's something with this nicotine that potentially.
Yeah, we are in clown world after all.
I did hear one of the doctors, like the guy who said the thing about the snake venom. He said something interesting, which was loads of people who had lost their sense of taste and smell, if they tried nicotine gum once, not even, you know, having to do it a long time, just once, it somehow changed their taste buds. Obviously, I have no idea if that's true or not, but I heard him say that. So that would be interesting to do with the whole nicotine thing. But
and Howard Marks is a legend. I seen him at Festival doing a banging dubstep set in a little tent. Yeah, he was DJ.
Great guy.
Really?
Yeah,
what a legend. Wow, cool.
He was playing dubstep.
He was playing
wicked.
dubstep at Festival back in like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Rob, mate, any closing thoughts, mate? As we got to wind up, we'll keep the lines open for someone else.
Well, in the new year, like, I don't know, I sent the emails, don't worry about it for now, but at some point I'd like to explain that. It's like an idea that it could be really good, I don't know, and then maybe if some people think, oh no, it doesn't work, but some people might go, oh, if you did this, it would work, or so at some point I'd love to talk about that, just for like, you know, 10 or 15 minutes. But,
send over the email, mate. We'll
I did, I think I did send it, but yeah, I'll leave it for now. But yeah, nice one, guys. Have a great show. Thank you, and have a great time in Thailand.
Great
talk, and thank you for that guest last week. Marcus was amazing, man. That I needed to hear, like, a sort of sublime type guy, like, just sitting on a guitar, like, that was wicked. So yeah, cheers, guys.
No, right, thanks so much, mate.
Take it easy. Nice one.
Take care, brother.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract.
Well, there we go.
A busy night on the phone tonight.
It is tonight, isn't it? I like it. Right, phone lines are open again, guys. If you want to call in, call us peasants or whatever.
Put the phone line number back up on the screen. So you can call this number if you're in the UK, or if you are abroad, just use WhatsApp +44 7983 696 691. That's how you call the studio.
666.
We had to get a 666 in that number, didn't we? Just had to.
Right, I've got a message here to read out from Gary. I'm not going to say a second name in case he doesn't want to be named. Hi, Lance. Just wanted to say, I lost a cousin a few weeks back. He was my best friend and a big brother I never had, and it was the Britney that killed him. He was a rare case where even his GP said it was the jabs. I'm totally heartbroken and angry. I told him not to get them before they even got made. And about a month ago, he said to me he wished he'd listened to me. It's so clown world for someone like me, with my eyes fully open, to lose my favourite human being in the whole wide world. Fucking bastards, mate. I'm so fucked off.
Shit, Gary, we feel for you, mate.
Yeah, mate. I'm sorry, Gary, mate. Sorry.
This is a problem that faces us all. You know, as much as we can, you know, we all, I think a lot of people that watch the show come to the conclusion now that it's not so much about changing the outside world, it's about changing yourself, and hopefully the people around you are helping them to change their perception. But at the end of the day, you know, there's only so much we can do to influence our friends and family and to try and save them. And it is a problem that all of us. Hey, my parents got jabbed with AstraZeneca once.
The gift from the stars.
The gift from the stars. Yeah, so it's a problem that we all face together, and our heart goes out to you, mate. We're really sorry to hear that.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract.
Right then. No one's calling in a lot, so should we whip out some memes?
Well, mate, I mean, I've got...
what have we got?
I've actually got plenty.
Let's get the Swab Show going.
Yeah, less about the promotion. Got to remind everyone that the next time we're live is December the 22nd.
What? Wow.
And it is the Rise Above Archaics AI Xmas special.
Gosh.
We're going to be going full Metal Rabbit with Jason on December the 22nd.
I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation, because in this presentation here, I went full Metal Rabbit on you boys.
And we've also got
Shout
a
out to
meeting
Jason
with
Archaics and
Sheep
the guys.
Farm in January as well. So here's an epic meme here, the three Ramigos.
Just Sheep Farm?
Oh, we've got a caller.
Here we go. Is it just Sheep Farm?
Oh no, we're going on. Yes, it is just Sheep Farm on our show.
Is it? Good evening. You're live and Rise Above. Who are we talking to? Please don't say the C or the V word.
I get it. Okay, Rise Above live, yeah?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
man. That's it. Who are we talking to?
This is the Merchant Fairy. What year are we in?
The Merchant Fairy. We're in Schwab year. The
we're-
year of the Schwab.
We're 3 PC post COVID. The year 3 PC.
Yeah, of year 2024.
Okay, so
time. I need to know your time zone, brother. I need to know the time zone.
well, we're in GMT. The time we're saying it's 2023 according to Clan World.
We're in the northern peasant sphere.
And this is Lance and BJ.
That's correct.
Legend.
So, how long have you been watching the show, mate?
Well, we're working on time engineering here, and we're fluctuating through time.
Excellent. Can
So
you elaborate on that?
We can. We're chopping it up. We're seeing various aspects of the whole what your man Jason is calling the whole simulation.
Excellent.
And from many perspectives, you guys are on it. Yeah.
Respect.
This is a holographic construct.
Bob. Now listen, this is get serious. It's a question of the law. Yeah. Do you know what law stands for?
Go on.
Land, air, water.
Are you talking about man's law or natural law?
I'm talking about the real divine common law.
So man's law.
No, not man. This is difficult. We didn't make land, air, water, did we, bro?
No. So you're talking about natural law.
Yeah, right. You get me? So
Okay.
it's all about going back to the fundamentals of that and that jurisdiction. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're down with that.
Yeah. And this is where with the Britneys, yeah, and so many other crimes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all down to this question of jurisdiction and how that is being twisted, as you know what I mean, and how that can be untwisted. Well, as soon as people get that knowledge, you get me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
However,
we saw all of that.
I will just chime in quickly. Everything that's been quote unquote done to the peasants, they've done it to themselves.
Yeah, through
don't get me wrong, there was coercion.
Yeah, coercion.
Don't get me wrong, there was coercion.
But they've done samples on people's blood. Everyone has this in there, whether you're being Britneyed or not.
For sure.
Right?
What you saying? We've all got mRNA.
We've all got some
Schwab
hydrogel business, DARPA hydrogel, and all the rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
The way to clean it up is colloidal gold. Yeah.
Is what? Sorry, can you repeat that?
Colloidal gold.
Okay. Can you? I don't know what that is.
I've heard of colloidal silver.
Yeah, check it out. Dr. I think it's Richard Nixon. Yeah, his work on colloidal gold dissolves nanotechnology.
Okay, guys. Dr. Richard Nixon does his research on dissolving the nano Schwab tech.
Yeah, he's doing it. You can see it on the microscope, and this stuff has to be done on spectroscope because it's so minute. You know what I mean?
Sorry. I forget your name. Who are we talking to? Sorry.
The Merging Fairy.
The Merging Fairy. Awesome. Slick Rick, can you Schwab this into a bite size, mate? Because I think that's a very important thing. Dr. Richard Nixon. Was it Richard?
Right, this is key. And also another guy, a guy called A Warrior Calls in Canada. They're filing charges against Justin Trudeau and against the whole Bar Association. Yeah. And they're making remedies for the Britneys. And, you know what I mean? They're growing. And it's all about the public going to the courthouse and demanding these people are brought in and saying this is a public court. They've made trespass against our fellow humans, and they're treating us as property of a service corporation. As soon as we all get this knowledge out, all the power is ours.
Sorry, this is Canada you're talking about?
It's all over the world, though. It's the same. It's a bar association. It's the same criminal network.
To do with the British maritime law, right?
Yeah, it's how. But the public courts that were set up anciently belong to us, the people. It's just about us. We just need to really get back up to speed with what has happened to our lawful system has been taken over by an illegal instrument, which is not lawful.
So what would you... you've laid that out on the line there pretty specifically, which is cool. So what would you suggest would be the next port of call for the citizenship? What just for instance, to all turn up at the courthouse in numbers and demand something?
And also basically, just forming local groups and becoming aware, right, of who are the architects and the key criminals who are and they get this, they're calling it in Switzerland not genocide, it's democide.
Yeah, a whole democratic. Yeah, a whole democratic.
No, as in satanically inspired crimes, right? Oh, wow. And the head of this creature, if you want to call it, it's not the WF, it's not the WHO. The very top of it is King Charles and the Pilgrim Society.
Yeah, I've touched on the Pilgrim Society before. That,
but that's the very, 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 very top of the whole network. That's it. So take him. People start filing notices of liability onto him and saying, we want to see this guy. He's a criminal, along with all his other associates. And it's like it's the same way you round up the mafia. And it takes them years in Italy, and then eventually they get 300 guys behind bars.
Can I just to play devil's advocate? In my personal opinion, I don't think using the quote unquote criminal justice system is gonna actually bring anyone of any importance to justice, quote unquote justice, in a wide sense that it's going to massively change anything. How would you feel about that?
It's about arresting
that's what I'm talking about. Actually arresting people. I don't think that's a realistic thing for anyone of any importance. That's what I'm talking about.
You ask them. No, you issue an arrest warrant, and you say to the law, which is the people acting publicly for the law are the police. You say arrest this person. They're committing not just genocide, they're committing democide. The same thing's happening with.
I totally get what you're saying, I'm not being a dick and disagreeing with you at all. I'm totally get what you're saying. I do believe that there's a lot of people who have tried that.
Wait a minute. What I was going to say, and don't get me wrong, I love the idea of what you're saying.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
but haven't someone like Tony Blair got exactly what you're talking about in a number of countries where they've gone to these?
Absolutely. So this is it's the same story again and again. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about.
So what's the solution for Tony Blair? Can he literally not go to those
He's still walking around like fucking...
Yeah, but can he go to the countries that have got those arrest warrants out for him? That's the question. I don't know the answer to that question.
No, nor do I.
Because there's not enough of the public demanding, saying this is what needs to happen because of their awareness of how the whole criminal justice system should actually be working. I mean, and we've all been told, no, you're just products of a service corporation. Get in line, get taxed, energy.
I agree.
Correction.
So this goes back to I don't know how long you've been watching the show for this evening, but we had a previous call. I forget. We've had so many people on the line tonight.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
They said they were talking about the percentage, and I said that the magic number is 51%. So basically, what you're saying is, in a nutshell,
need to reach critical.
We need to reach critical mass awareness.
You need 5%. You need in that was. It was mass psychosis,
I personally don't believe like you need 5%. I think you need way more than that. But that's my personal opinion.
In defence of the caller, I've seen actually some.
There's no defence required.
No. Because I was about to say I've seen actually some research. This was years ago, showing that in a population to reach critical mass of like a new thought or a new action or even a tradition being taken up. Well, it actually shown that the percentage is low, and it could be as low as, like you say, something like 5%. And if enough of those people start continually doing that and acting out and radiating that new level of consciousness, it can actually affect the other 95%.
Whatever the percentage is, the only way to actually do it, whatever the number is for that 5% or 51% or whatever it is, 33%. Is to actually become the new media to get the word out. Because with all due respect to everyone who is just sharing stuff on Facebook and just telling friends about it, when they go get their hair cut or in the supermarket, something like that's not reaching anywhere near enough people. The people that know what's going on, they need to become a media channel, media station, and actually get the word out to hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Absolutely.
That's the way to do it.
And like you say, I think it's all about the business, and at the core of that is currency. You get me? And really to decouple from the clown world currency. You get me? And look at all that can happen outside of that.
Yeah. Well, try to detach yourself as much as you can.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't in a situation where they can grow some of their own food, can have solar panels for a little bit of extra electricity. A lot of people are forced to live within the system because of purely financial. And then don't forget, everyone's being ushered into these to sell their houses and move into cities and stuff like that because they can't afford to live in a nicer suburban area or rural area, something like that. So it's very hard to not rely on currency, which I fucking hate. I'd love to move to a barter system immediately overnight if I could. But it's really difficult, I think, for the majority to do that. I wouldn't know the answer to that.
But for 5% of the population, let's say in a city like Bristol, right? 5% of the population. Have you seen those boats that are all cast off ex-oil rig lifeboats that come from the oil rig? They basically are for emergencies. Yeah, they're all stationed also on military vessels, but unless there's an emergency, they don't get used, and then they get scrapped, and they're never ever used. They're essentially a boat, essentially a submarine.
I know the type of boats you mean. Yeah.
Right. You imagine that. Yeah, and you have a mandate now to certainly like down here in Cornwall, to force councils to say affordable homes. Now people want to live in these boats. They wish to mine Bitcoin, and they wish to declare themselves their own principality within that boat. Yeah, how about that?
What, are people trying to do that?
Yeah.
What, just live on a boat?
Well, because I know that
live on a boat, mine Bitcoin, and say, look, under Cornish mining laws, I'm living like an indigenous Cornish person, and I don't need to pay taxes because this is happening in North America. Yeah,
what you're talking about there is a great way to quite literally rise above.
That is the Ramish way.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it.
And this is what I'm saying. Bob, I'm from the future, and you guys are going to be doing all this with Jason Braziers and this crew in Cornwall.
Like we've always said, the rise above way is not necessarily to fight the system or to try and beat it.
You've got to live alongside
sometimes
it.
It's to actually use its loopholes and its stupid laws against it.
No, it's not loopholes,
You're
creating a whole new governance system based on ancient laws of your ancestors and respecting them under the law, land, air, water for the people.
That's what they did in that Sealand place, isn't it? Where they claimed their own principality and issued their own passports.
No, they ran into loads of jurisdictions.
They did what?
Sealand. There was like some.
Where's Sealand?
This rich family bought a disused oil rig in the English Channel. I can't remember exactly where. And what they did was they declared it its own area. And
how do you go about that?
Well, they knew because they weren't. I don't know if they were lords and ladies, but they were.
They weren't peasants.
They were old. No, they weren't peasants.
Right,
they were old money family, but they weren't like billionaires. But they bought this oil rig. They moved in, and there was even they basically did declare.
They couldn't quite get an island.
Have you heard about this, Jen?
Yeah.
Right. So basically, they issued
they
their own
weren't
passports.
down with Epstein.
At one
Yeah.
point,
Yeah,
at one
yeah. They
point,
went for a
this is
little
all in Wikipedia. There was even a land dispute where other competing buccaneers turned up in a helicopter with a handgun, and there was a fucking shootout for
the OK Corral.
Yeah, to try and
Wow.
take control of Sealand, and there are pictures that there are passports for Sealand. You used to be able to go there.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe someone start a GoFundMe and let's buy some disused oil.
No, but what the callers talk about
Schwabrig.
these particular boats, right? They're like the shell is like indestructible.
You can drop them from 100 meters into the water. They're going to go.
Sorry.
through
What we're talking about a boat?
Yeah, these
What, like
things-
a rib?
No. It's a very particular
you-
boat. It's like the safety lifeboat that's strapped onto big boats.
Have a look on it. There's a website.
Oh, what? And they just drop it off the crane? Just drop
and
it
it can
straight?
go
Oh, I know.
underwater,
Exactly. Yeah,
and it's
I
like
know.
almost like a submersible.
I know
You
what you're
can-
talking about. Yeah.
Right, they are indestructible, and you change the engine, yeah, and you can have different, and also you can have a sky sail on it. You can reach up to speed 3 times quicker than anything else that's on the water.
Wow.
And you can mine Bitcoin and then be your own little.
Mine Bitcoin. You can say you're official Ramish community, and you can go looking for what's beyond the ice wall and find the new
Go
land.
looking
from
what's
west-
beyond the ice wall.
Go and find the entrance.
Gosh.
Drop the bomb. Drop the bomb.
Don't believe
No,
me.
it's good. We'll take it.
This is the real, but
This is the real.
Anyway,
This is the real.
mate, it's great to talk to you tonight. Is there any closing thoughts you'd like to finish with before we let anyone else call in?
Again, Ramish Navy, bruv. The Ramish Navy.
The Ramish Navy, mate. We like it. We like that. Do you want to be? Who's the top of the navy? The admiral? Is that the head of a
Yeah,
navy?
the admiral.
Yeah. Do you want to be the admiral of the Ramish Navy?
This is the whole point. Everyone's their own boss. You get me? And
Yeah,
it's by mutual contract that everyone gets down.
Exactly.
You get me?
Exactly.
Right.
Everyone that
Love
gets their
up,
own boat is
love
the
up.
admiral.
I've got to go back now to 2051. There's an incident on Bodmin Moor, and Jason Brasiers is basically calling up the truth, bro. So I'm going to head off there now.
You're going to head off to 2051 to head up with Jason Brashears.
All right, love,
Well,
love,
shout out
love.
to RKX and all the crew in 2051. Are we still here in 2051? Are we still
Hey,
broadcasting?
you don't understand. This is key, and this talk tonight is key because it was a good job. I thought it was 2024. It could have been too late. So 2023 is perfect.
Are we still broadcasting in 2051?
I'll do my best.
You're in the pod. You don't get it. You're in the pod. It's gone so much bigger. You get me? You have risen above, bruv. Risen above.
Gosh.
Respect.
We'll see you in the future.
Rise above, generate, rise above, distinguish fear, rise above.
Oh
Wow.
This has been the best customer
Wow.
service
What
of all
a
time.
fucking show this
Literally.
evening.
So someone's saying that we should do the Raw Apprentice as a show.
Get rid of the peasant advertising.
Oh yeah, sorry, we've got so
Get rid
much
of
going
that.
on.
We need
You've got too much going on your screen.
We have got a lot going on. Fuck me, as Gates in there and everything.
I'm trying to get rid of it. Is it going? No, it's not.
Get rid of the chat overlay as well.
Oh yeah,
Get rid of
sorry.
that. Come on. Mark.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing that we are definitely going to do is the Raw Academy Awards next year, and I want to make it properly interactive so we can put like a poll. Interactive. Put a poll up on Telegram when we're voting for like
Telegram.
When we're voting for like the best. There'll be at least 6 different meme categories that I've thought of so far.
What? Wow.
Not mucking about at all. Not mucking about. Okay.
What is this?
I don't know. Listen, I get sent so many things. Let me get rid of this clicker so we can properly appreciate this little motherfucker.
Guys, their phone lines are open if you want to call them.
Yeah, if you haven't.
Or
if you
email
haven't-
messages on
You've
Facebook.
got to save the
whatever.
Rise Above number on your phone.
Yeah, save the studio number in capitals.
The screen is not like it's not really.
What's
Anyway,
happening here?
there's a picture of a polar bear at the bottom. So what's it saying? The Prince of Wales is to issue a warning. This is in 2009. A warning that the world has only 100 months to act before the damage caused by the global warming climate change.
Is that the
becomes
same
irreversible.
as everything was going to be submerged in the coast of England in 30 years back in the 90s? And then we're now in 2023. Right.
Yeah, something like that. Along those lines, I would say. In 2015, Prince Charles is warning that there are only 35 years left to save the planet
Right.
from the climate warming change disaster, which represents a 33-year
Trust
extension.
me, King Sausage Fingers hasn't got 35 years left. He hasn't got 35 years left.
A 33-year extension to his previous deadline. I don't know who made this one. It's News of the World, Orders Today, only 33p.
He's got a hell of a nose on him as well. I've just noticed his nose and his ears. Look, he looks like the BFG.
He does look like.
Remember
the
that
BFG.
fucking BFG, the
I do
giant,
remember
the
that.
Roald Dahl giant, BFG.
Now here's a good one. Somehow I don't. If we've spoke about this before on the show, I apologise, but I thought it was worth bringing up again because I don't think we mentioned it.
Pfizer the 13th.
Basically, it came to my attention. You know, when things sort of just fly into your peripheral vision, and you swab them together, and a little masterpiece comes out. I noticed that. It was Friday the 13th of October, and I thought to myself, surely something good's got to come out today. So I just had a quick scan through the internet, and it turned out that Michelle Pfeiffer had made a special press release, and if you went right down to the bottom, it's on like page 33, right at the bottom. It basically made some pretty shocking admissions about what we coin as coinciditis. Okay, and I'll just leave it on the screen now. I'm obviously not going to read it out.
No, we don't want Eminem up in there.
Certainly don't want Marshall Mathers knocking on the front door, do we? And obviously, you know, I coined it. I had to coin it immediately. It's Pfizer the 13th. So I got Bazman on the case straight away. And it's like this is just, I thought it was just brilliant.
Shout out to Bazman. He's been, we've been mushroom foraging like constantly recently, and he's been making memes around the clock. I don't know when the guy's sleeping.
I'll tell you now, he's definitely up for at least one nomination.
He's definitely the rightful dodger
in the Raw Academy Awards 2023, which we'll be doing in January. And you and me have got to dress up for it as well. We'll have envelopes and everything.
Maybe I'll wear my Jimmy Savile outfit, my Grandmaster Ginny outfit.
I'll dress as the General. You can dress as Grandmaster Ginny.
Yeah.
Try and outrank
Maybe
me.
I will.
So yeah, Pfizer the 13th. Obviously, this one just went straight underneath the perceptive radar of most non-sentient meat suits.
The radar.
out in the peasant verse. They weren't interested, and nobody really cared. But
I think they did, but maybe they're not going to tell anyone.
Yeah, maybe they weren't.
You think if you've been to the full Britney Spears tour, then you read this shit from the very people who told you it's safe and effective,
Yeah,
comrade?
but how many people are reading it though, and reading it right down to the bottom? Just
I
to
don't
find
know.
this
Don't
like me?
forget, if these peasants, like the full NPCs, who literally lick Pfizer and the gift from the stars and all that, they love it. They're going to be reading their shit. They're going to be wanting to know the latest tech that they need inside their body. So then this is going to be, unless this is in the small print right at the bottom of the where next to where it says "contact us."
Well, it's funny.
At the bottom of the
funny you
bottom
should
of the
say
screen.
that because myself and a couple of others posted it in that the group is called Anti-Vax. Obviously,
did you say the V word?
That's what the Facebook group is called.
It doesn't matter, Lance.
It's very notorious.
I'm fining you 10 shekels.
But it's full of people that are of the opposite persuasion, and it's like a trap. And you go in there, and it's good to troll people if you like doing that type of thing. So immediately I test the water, and I do it as market research because it's the perfect way to have direct research into the mind of an NPC.
Of course.
Because there's like a gaggle of them, and they work on shifts in there. So I posted this in there.
It's similar to Know Thy Enemy.
And I said, you remember all those memes we did about booster burgers? What do you want, mayo or pericarditis with that? Coinciditis. And I said, look at this. Here is your beloved Michelle Pfizer, Pfeiffer, doing their own press release. What do you think of this? And
here's your review of your fucking myocarditis.
Here's the ingredients list and the side effects of taking your booster burger.
Yeah.
Right? So, but the general consensus of what they said was, no, this is totally normal. Obviously, you know, a small amount of people get this. It's
small
quite,
amount.
They said it's quite common. Like, I don't know about you, but I'd never even heard of Matthew Perry carditis or any of those things before, like 2021. I've never heard of those conditions.
No, the thing is, the issue is that some of the NPCs that follow this shit and then defend stuff like this, they'll quote back to some study about a side effect which isn't as devastating as myocarditis.
Yeah,
myocarditis, and they say, you know, there's been side effects from arm spears for, you know, decades.
They say paracetamol has side effects.
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
We should be careful. Speaking of pericarditis, Like some of these jokes write themselves. So that, again, I've got to get rid of this customer services graphic because it's very intrusive.
That was a
Very
loud
loud.
one.
Turn down Michael there.
Michael.
So
That's too loud. That's recorded.
again, this isn't fresh news, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it because we haven't had that many live shows recently. That will change in January, I promise, guys. We've got lots lined up. So, a classic case of, was it coinciditis? Was this guy part of some Hollywood Crowleyan cultist ritual? There were plenty of weird, I believe they were Twitter posts.
There was numerology around it as well.
There always is. But I hate to say it, I do feel like part of the reason that gematria and those people that do those numerological breakdowns, it always works every time. Well, if we are in a construct, then that's just a given. You can always get some maths out of it. Yeah. So I do sort of think that's sort of losing its rabbit power for me now.
I would agree, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't think that's
it's
just
the norm now.
Yeah, I don't think that's just me.
It's like sliced bread.
I hope it's not just me associating the dopamine hit that you get when you find a new part of the rabbit hole.
No,
because we have to be aware of that as well, and how like powerful that can be for people like us that do, you know, this kind of stuff is our favourite subject, you know. So I'm always conscious of that when I look at this stuff and people have got the numbers out.
Is that Michael Barrymore?
It is Michael Barrymore. So this
Right.
one was made on the left, was commissioned by Deep Bait Memes, who's our only Islamic memester.
Interesting.
He's famous for the sloth memes. That's his trademark,
Yeah.
as we well know.
Yeah.
Really, really unique artist. So yeah, for anyone that isn't from the UK, Michael Barrymore was a beloved entertainer on UK TV. And after he came off TV, there was he was having, I believe, homosexual sex parties at his house, and a young lad was found dead floating in his swimming pool. So that's the connection between Michael Barrymore being in your hot tub, in case you didn't know.
There's Michael.
So yeah, I was told that these memes were in bad taste actually by someone that was doing that stand-up comedy on Facebook.
If you think this is bad taste, wait till you really get a grip of global genocide. Yeah.
Well, if you think this is bad taste, imagine why.
Call in. If you think it's bad taste, call in.
When you
Call
find
in.
out why us lot don't have any time or love or anything for these celebrities anymore because we know the kind of stuff that they get up to.
Well, apparently, he posted on his Instagram the day before he died, or
Go
2
on.
days before he died. There's a picture of Cranberries. This is what everyone's picked up on. And then they goes to the lead singer of the Cranberries, drowned in a pool. And then, like the day later, then he posts a picture of his pool, and then the day later he's dead in the pool.
And he was also doing posts about Batman as well,
Yeah,
wasn't
the
there?
Batman thing. Yeah.
They were just some very bizarre posts, and he was referring to himself in weird ways. Just seemed totally
retarded.
Yeah,
Is that- yeah,
but then again, I don't know. I don't follow the guy on
It's
social
not, I'd
media.
just say he's just it's the fate of the industry.
Well, yeah, when your time's up, when your number comes in, Michael comes to collect.
Question. If there's some weird posts on his Instagram, is that even him posting that?
Yeah, right.
thing,
How,
yeah.
yeah, how do we know?
Does he really do his own Instagram? All these celebrity peasants.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point. All right, here's a good one. Wow, we've already got to like 3.25 hours.
Mate, we've had a busy show. Man.
It has been a busy show.
I've been up since 5 o'clock.
Okay, so Mark Devlin, as we all know, is basically on an everlasting world tour of going around doing wicked presentations, signing books, and doing DJ sets.
Shout out to Mark.
And he's been on an Australian tour, and he posted this. He said, "It seems that Sheep Farm and Rise Above slang has become universally known, with Arm Spear, Three Dart Finish, and Lord Sausage Fingers all being recognised in Australia."
We have reached the opposite side of the world.
Yeah,
of the
between
crater.
Between us and Sheep Farm, you know, our reach is quite large, I would say, and it is quite far reaching. You know, and again, always been very open. I know that they use repetition and stuff like that against us. Well,
So do we. We use repetition.
Yeah, yeah, we love repetition. You know, if we're really consistent with our good use of the alphabet and the Ramish patois,
You have a Risian dictionary.
keeps evolving and keeps becoming more and more. What's the word? Well,
Evolved.
It sort of evolved, but refined. Yeah, refined.
Your alphabet.
Yeah, refined. Yeah,
the alphabet.
So big shout out to Mark and everybody all around the peasant realm that is using the lingo that we've all built together to evade the everlasting glare of
Devlin
Al Gore.
Down Under.
So don't forget, you can also get Mark Devlin's book, which is this.
I've
one
got all
here.
3.
Have you got The Gift and the Curse?
No, I haven't got his fictional books. He's got 2 actually.
This is his brand new one. You can get it directly from Mark on his website. I guess that's always the best way to get it directly from source.
Yeah, that's
look at
his
this.
novel, that one.
Look at
That's
this.
good.
Live on a bike cassette, raw find.
Yeah, take it to
Excellent.
the raw
Raw
finery.
find.
Take it to the raw
There it
finery.
is.
Don't
Refined
forget,
has been
guys,
raw
the
find.
phone line is still open. I guess we can accept 1 or 2 more calls. If not, we've got a few things to talk about. So, Russ Kieran had a good old go at Mariana Spring on
As you
Twitter,
do.
on Twitter this
Get
week.
rid of
Let
the
me-
overlay there.
Yeah, there
we go.
There we can see
Get
some
off
of
my fucking.
Oh, sorry,
I'll produce the show notes. You
all
just gob off on the mic.
Okay, all right. You just leave it to me. So, Mariana Springs says, a reminder in this report from me about how tactics online denying violence on the groundwork, including crisis act claims. I think they're talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict.
I investigated how these how these 2 4-year-olds, one Palestine, one Israel, were killed, and it was denied on social media. Do go read, watch, and listen.
Now, Russ Kieran replies directly on this person's Twitter. No one gives a monkeys about your state obfuscated propaganda, love. Look at the ratios, it's pathetic. Do some real investigative journalism away from the constraints of a biased, archaic institution that has covered up historical child abuse from within. You're losing.
Come on!
Wow.
Well, there you have it.
And on the top right, we have an absolutely killer meme.
On the far right?
On the far right. Okay, so, yeah, well, it is customer services. We'll take another call. Hi, you're through to Rise Above. Please don't say any swear words. The start with C or V. How's it going?
Yeah, good.
Who's this?
Well, you'll know me as Alan, Black Hole Man.
Alan Black Hole Man.
I wanted to apologise for sending you a nasty email. I dissed Andy for being a Passio foot soldier. I think I dissed you for being a bad researcher, for not knowing what the great work was. And I also said Omar Beats was a bit shit at mixing. And now I feel really bad.
How long ago was that?
Not too long ago, I was going on about my DMT experiences and how I thought God was a black hole, the father and the mother was Sirius, and then the son was our son. And
yes, I do remember reading this email.
all that kind of business. And so basically, to clarify on the great work, I don't think it is what Mark Passio says it is. Like, I love Mark Passio.
Okay.
I listened to him like live at the time and went through all of his stuff, and it is amazing. It is a revolution of your consciousness. It is an initiation. It's spot on. But the fundamental part of it, the great work, is not about just talking to peasants about occultic stuff or lesser stuff, the truth of what's going on in the world. I know that the great work is basically having a union with the divine. And so putting it out there that the great work is just talking to peasants about truth is a total derailing. And then it's totally backed up. If you go back through all of history and all of the philosophers and all of the wisdom schools and all of this, it wasn't about talking to peasants about this stuff. It was about you having a one-on-one experience with the divine.
Oh, sure, I would agree. There's nothing more important than the subjective personal experience and the personal journey. I'm 100% down with that.
Sorry, I just stepped out the studio. And who are we talking to?
This is Alan.
Alan,
Yeah.
how's it going, Alan?
I'm in Southampton. Yeah.
Oh, mate, you're not too far away from the studio. Cool, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm Tottenham, New Forest.
Okay. Nice.
But he was actually saying he previously sent an email where he had a bit of a go at us about various things and you for being a follower of Mark Passio. He said, although he likes Mark...
I'm not a follower of anyone, just so you know. I do study Mark Passio's work, but I'm not a follower of anyone.
We all should, because it's shit hot.
Yeah, I don't follow anyone.
But just to recap, you thought that Mark Passio was wrong in the great work it is.
Yeah, the one great. Sorry, I've just thinking nuts.
Mark Passio's philosophy about the one great work is to elevate human consciousness. That's what the one great work is.
Yeah, but he makes it sound as if it's like he puts a lot of pressure on his people to get off their asses and talk about this stuff.
Again, he's not for everyone's taste. Yeah, same as we're not. But I mean, that's what he chooses to do. That's the avenue of elevation of consciousness he chooses to go down. Other people obviously choose to go down another.
Yeah, but it's as simple as if you type in the great work, not saying anything about Google or this or that, but if you just Google the great work, it's got nothing about anything other than to do about you having a one-on-one experience with the divine.
Sure, I agree. And then, but to facilitate that's what Mark Passio is saying is his great work is to facilitate that trigger in everyone to initiate that within themselves.
It's true, and maybe he did that with me. Yeah.
I guess, I mean, from my own personal experience, if I hadn't have had some encounters and experiences in my life where I think I had brushed with what you could call the divine or the infinite and been very humbled and had some lessons taught to me and stuff, then, you know, maybe I wouldn't have had the confidence or the impetus to do something like we're doing now, where essentially, you know, we're talking about the truth. We've just wrapped it up in a slightly more flashy entertainment show. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think...
When I had my main experience, I was told to be myself and be brave and say what I know. And that's what made me call in tonight.
Yeah, man.
No,
for
absolutely.
Sure. So respect for that, for having the courage to do that.
And I totally do agree with you in one respect, because if, for instance, you were just one of these people that wants to just put truth and you're pumping out basically, you're actually regurgitating the fear propaganda every week on a YouTube or a Twitter or whatever you're doing, and you haven't developed that personal relationship with the divine or the infinite yourself, then yeah, you are 100% missing the trick. And
on Mark Passio's thing, that would be like Base Camp 2 or whatever, and the great work is the top of the mountain.
Yeah, because I think you know, it's been said before, like the final conspiracy is the inner conspiracy inside you.
And with DMT, you know, most people sort of say 2 or 3 hits or that kind of thing. I'm telling people, you just keep taking hits until something truly mad happens. Like literally, you have to keep going.
Alan, are you familiar with Dr. Octavio's work?
Nope.
No.
Dr. Octavio Reddick.
So Lance, do you want to...
He is he's the guy that basically discovered the bufo of Alvarez toad, where you can get the 5-MeO DMT by scraping the resin off the back of the toad,
and he refines it into a smokable form. But
he has a PhD in ayahuasca shamanism. He's also been inducted into like a couple of...
I've seen the documentary about...
he's called the Toad Shaman.
What he produces, his medicine, he calls it, his medicine is 200 times stronger than DMT. And lasts 4 to 5 times as long.
I've used the spirit molecule on I'm not afraid to say it, hundreds of occasions. Okay.
Can I tell you about what? Like, I've had a better thing, but when I went to a talk that Mark Devlin and Danny Rastelli did back in, I don't know, I think it was 2014 or something like that, and I got introduced to the spirit molecule. Went home, started making it. I don't know if I should say that, but and then like a good sensible person, just started off super small, started building up and up and up and up and up, and I've had a life of doing mushrooms and all of that. I'm very experienced at saying I'm a raver. You know, that sort of stuff it does scare me, but you know, on my own, I was willing to progress forward through it. And then literally, this this happened on a Saturday. I was doing it in the sun because I felt it less scary. And I was doing it at midday on a Saturday on my patio, south-facing garden in the sun. And for the first time ever, I was looking at the thing that was looking at me in my mind. And I said to it, fucking hell, you're not just patterns like all the other things I've ever done. You're actually an entity, and you're like floating in water looking at me. You look like a golden cuttlefish. And then that was that. Next day on a Sunday, my neighbour Carol came round, and she went, I was down the beach yesterday, about midday, and I started thinking about you. And so I picked you up these. And she handed me 7 cuttlefish shells. And she was like, that's for your chickens, you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, fucking hell, Carol.
One of those weird synchronicities.
Yeah, when you do it, true magic stuff happens.
Yeah, I agree. It's much more than just a hallucinogen. Much more than that.
And my main night, I was in the kitchen floor, kneeling down, and did what I thought was enough to do this breakthrough thing that I'd obviously been building up to. Nothing really happened, and I got really angry with spirit, and I literally spoke out loud, and I was saying, fuck this is bullshit. And I literally pictured in my mind, like when you see on Star Wars when they're behind some fucking big metal door and they open it up with a welder type thing, and you see the red hot line going down the door, and that kind of thing. I imagined something like that happening in the air, and then it opening and God being behind it, and me going, I fucking knew there was another world or a door to another world, that kind of thing. So I made 2 massive coners, took them up to bed, smoked them one after the other, to the point where literally I didn't know where my mouth was to put it in, that kind of thing. And that's when the big thing happened. And I literally came out of my body, went through a portal that was in the room above me. And that's the email that I was trying to tell you about, was basically on the other side of the portal, there was a golden dragon, which I now know is our son. He took me down this wormhole to a great big golden city, and the city was the mother, and I was at Sirius, and she was the one who told me to be brave and say what I know. But like the dragon wouldn't let me go to the city until I had told him what I was all about, and he basically strangled me and shouted, "What are you all about?" And it came out with organic nature, caring, helping, love, sensitivity, and humour. So I think we've all got 7 essential qualities of our soul. And so the great work is to be brave enough to do all this stuff and to find out what your 7 key soul qualities are. And then I think once you've gotten there and done all that, I don't think you have to come back here again. And I think, so basically you don't have to fix the world. The world's meant to be shit.
I'd say you're right. I'd say you're bang on, mate.
The world isn't to be fixed.
Yeah,
it's this
that's
way
what I'm
for
saying.
a reason.
Everyone says like you fight in the system. Like
when are we going to win?
We're not designed to quote unquote win. Right?
Yeah, you can only
we're going to get
yourself.
more and more enslaved until nature steps in, and that's it.
Yeah. Well,
nature will intervene when it gets to such a retarded level that it can't stand it,
like
and then we're
sitting on
going
a
to get
bench
reset to the fucking
and watching horrendous shit going on right in front of you.
That's it.
When are you
like
going
we
to
are now.
stand up?
We're well on the way to that now.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to speak to you and make
And
up,
you,
man.
mate,
'cause, you know,
No, it's absolutely fine. I'm glad you called in, bro.
cool. I'll let you go, man. 'Cause
All right,
Awesome,
take
man.
care.
Great to speak to you.
That's all my shit summed up quick.
No, that was
Great
definitely an
to-
interesting call. I like it very much.
Stand by for a customer services in 2024 and call in, brother.
Rise in, brother.
Yeah, mate.
Rise above, brother.
Take it easy, boys.
Rise in.
Rise in.
No,
Thanks for
Resin?
That was a cross between thanks for calling in and rise above. I was just saying, rise in.
What a schwabbery of callers we've had tonight.
Yeah, it's
what
been
a good
absolutely
mix
mental.
of people. Yeah. Right, we got Sister and Sounds there. She's getting queued up, ready to go.
Getting queued up to play a couple of tunes.
Oh, are you?
What, you just disconnecting?
Oh,
no,
fuck.
that's okay. That's all right. Don't worry. We've already got to 12:30. I didn't know if you were going to play a couple more, but it's not a problem.
Guys, we'll maybe leave the phone lines open for what, another 15 minutes?
Yeah, something like
and
that.
then that's it. So if you want to call in, hit it now. And
I was worried I didn't have enough Schwab show for this show. We haven't even barely even looked at it.
No.
So here's a good one. There's no point in me saving this because it's getting quite old now.
Beyonce's Cardiff gig crowd was scanned for paedophiles, was it now?
Yeah, so basically, this has been a lot in the mainstream media in the last few weeks.
I hope they check the management.
They're admitting now the absolute extent that the facial recognition cameras are in all public places, fully active, and they're working off databases that have already been compiled a long time ago. So they're now scanning for terrorists, paedophiles, no doubt, enemies of the state. It says here, facial recognition used by South Wales Police was ruled unlawful. Facial recognition tech, Liberty Police racism claim. Basically, using AI facial recognition to scan entire crowds, thousands and thousands of people. And understandably, some people aren't very happy about it.
Well, who fucking would be?
Yeah. We're going to be hearing a lot more about this. This is just sort of like an emerging story.
This is just the start of the Schwab City. This is just the start of it. Like your big events like that. Yeah. But don't get me wrong. Like Lance, you eat at peasant restaurants like McDonald's. Can you pay by cash now?
I try not to eat at McDonald's.
But can you?
The only time.
Can you even pay by cash?
Yeah, you can, because I know this, because when I have to eat at McDonald's, it's like 11 or 12 at night and the service station after trying, and it's literally the only thing you can get that's hot.
But
they do still accept cash.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've seen it when I drive up to see my Ramish wife back
If
here.
anyone's asking, I have a filet o fish.
A filet o fish. That's
yeah. I don't eat the burgers that've got kids in them.
Okay. Jewish kids.
Well,
sorry.
Goyim kids.
Strictly
Goyim. The Goyim burgers.
Served up by Jewish. But anyway, anyways, what was I getting at? So you can still pay for cash, because every time I go up north, if I stop at a service station, literally they've got these like pillars now with the Schwab machines on, and everyone's just paying on that. But if you can go up to the counter,
you can still
demand
to go up to the counter. Yeah.
I literally there's so many people paying like that I didn't know you could actually pay by cash.
In Bournemouth, the cafe on the seafront is card only. That is card. I was there today.
There's a few businesses that are still card.
Well, that's
only.
the way it's going, isn't it? That's the way that they.
I get it, because you think about it, yeah. Like I'm all for cash, right? Cash is king. I'll pay for cash all day long. I'll pay with cash all day long. But from a business point of view, if you've got a lot of cash to count up every night, somebody's got to actually physically do that. That's an hourly wage, and then over the course of a year. So I do get the
I know,
saving money aspect.
I know how much it costs to run.
But big corporations, like, do they really need to save that fucking money? They've got all the money in the world.
Yeah, but the more your turnover, imagine how much you're paying the debit card companies, and not just that, it's renting all of the card terminals.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's quite a big expense.
It's very lucrative on that side of things.
Well, lucrative for who? Lucrative for the people that are running of course.
Unless it's the same people that own the big corporation restaurants that own the card machines as well.
Yeah.
It's all about convenience. The only because you'll notice that a lot of independent small businesses that some don't even accept card. Why is that? because they might be not quite so honest about how much they're earning. Yeah, exactly. So people aren't silly. No, you've been dropping that naughty J bomb quite a lot tonight.
Who?
You were saying it a minute ago.
Whoish?
Whoish, right. Where's the meme? Jason Archaics said in one of his prediction videos last year, he said that in the coming couple of years, the whole lid on anti-Semitism is sort of going to be taken off, and you're going to see people all over the place being very critical of maybe not all people of that religious persuasion, but a certain cult within the religious persuasion that's hijacked it.
Lionism.
We've talked about the proper roots of what this hijacked cult that hide behind this religion.
I'm going to actually coin that now, lionism, because the solar death cult of the ancient world used the lion as their symbolism, partly, in somewhat, because the lion with its lion's mane symbolises the rays of the sun, so that's why they use. So I'm going to call it lionism.
And also the Aryan race uses the lion to symbolise itself as well.
Lion
the Ari, yeah, exactly. So Jason called this that there would be more and more people. And I mean, I don't know, has anybody else noticed it? That obviously it started happening before October the 7th this year, when the that attack happened in Israel, in Palestine and
So
Israel.
what are you getting?
More
at,
people
they're literally
more
trying...
people are openly being very critical about this and about.
So this is a repeat of World War II indoctrination.
Well, aren't
for
we
the
moving
peasants.
up towards 2033?
Yeah, we are.
When in 1933 we all know what
Yeah.
happened, and if this realm really
100-year repetition,
rotates in a cycle with a counter-rotational Solomon spiral, maybe 100 years. You know, look at what happened in 1920. Wasn't there a certain people's pandemic?
Yes, there was, mate.
And then what happened exactly 100 years later? Michael.
Gosh. Hello.
Yeah. So what happened 13 years after that people's pandemic back in 1920?
Wait, one sec. I've got one more.
Or
This is a
1916.
holographic construct.
We're obviously talking about what was it called? Radish glue. Right, yeah. So roughly 13 years after that, there was like this thing called the Weimar Republic in Germany that was like very, very debauched, and all the debauchery started to get blamed on a certain group of people that were running all the brothels and distributing the pornography and stuff like that. And then then this character pops up with a solution, a final solution. I've got a feeling that history is going to be repeating itself, because you know, I know what you can and can't say to avoid getting a knock on the door from the actual Soviet Union that come and take you away.
Well, they're not doing your parents' door.
Yeah, exactly. But they didn't barge in and try and take me away.
No, they wouldn't dare.
No, because I didn't criticise the chosen ones.
They'd be live to 233 peasants.
The point that I'm trying to get through is that the things that I've been seeing people openly say on Facebook and Twitter in the last couple of months, like people have gone to prison for less.
Yeah.
Literally. I know someone that has gone to prison for criticising
hate speech, mate.
Yeah, hate speech against the
Jewish community.
Yeah. So I'm just pointing this out, that this is definitely a phenomenon at the moment, and as we can see, that's actually not related, but I guess
it is. It is related. Let's be honest.
I mean, hey, I'm very careful when I talk about this stuff. Anyone that knows proper Abavesian slang knows that we can look at the whole concept of the obvious words to describe these people.
Everything's on the table.
It's much deeper. It's much deeper than that. It's much deeper indeed. But yeah, we're going to be talking with Jason Archaics about this on December the 22nd, and how this actually fits in with his breaking of the seals of the apocalypse theory. I'm not really sure it's a theory. It's more of an observation. It's more an accurate observation. And
it's simple arithmetic.
And if you haven't watched his videos about the breaking the first seal and Apollyon,
I think there's part 5
rising.
You
seriously need to go and watch it before he comes on the show, because that's some homework, and it's also some background knowledge.
If you go to the Archaics YouTube channel, go to playlists.
It's a month or two old.
He's got a playlist, right, of his videos from like in order from start to finish. Right, go on that, hit it up. All you've got to do is watch the first like 20, and some of them are like 5 minutes, some of them are 7 minutes, some of them are 12 minutes, some of them are 20 minutes. They're not long videos. All you've got to do is watch the first 20, and you'll be up to speed relatively to be able to understand what Archaics is talking about when he comes in. Shout out to Jason, proceed.
Right. I think we should wrap it up in a minute, because we've had a pretty lively show. And it's
Well, we've got a head
hours.
leader, a cult leader.
Yeah, so this is customer services, so I do read out emails. Right, dear cult leader, I hope you are having a lovely day in the peasant verse. Thanks for the
It's
tea.
peasant sphere.
Oh, peasant.
No, I'm saying he's got it wrong though. It's peasant sphere.
Okay, well, I guess the peasant sphere is inside the peasant verse.
Okay.
Thanks
I'll take it. I'll allow it.
So I just give you a Ramish physics lesson.
I'll allow it.
Thanks for the T-shirt. Mrs. Medical Droid will be sporting that on our Christmas visit to the eastern edge of catastrophe. Anyway, in a recent visit to an antique shop, more commonly known as a muck and tat shop, I was trying to be more archaic and search out some old tombs. but ended up looking at the Warlord Annual from 1974. Next to it were some strange Elvis fan club mags. I picked up the first one and I opened it. There was a strange article about our beloved Grandmaster meeting with the King. Note that his coat has many spells along with saying Hollywood hadn't been the same since his visit. What could have possibly happened in Hollywood? Of all the magazines I was drawn to, it was this one. 21B Medical Droid. Now, I've got it on the screen. Right. Elvis. It's like a whole magazine all about Elvis. And it is freaky the way they talk about Grandmaster Ginny in this thing. They don't mention that he invented DJing, which I thought was a bit rude.
Yeah.
Very disrespectful, actually. Written by Todd Slaughter.
Interesting.
Now, I'm not going to read it all out, but you can pause it and read through this because I think the definition should be high enough. But yeah, look, the name Elvis written over and over again on what looks like a sort of like a lab coat or something. Is that some sort of like voodoo where you write someone's name over and over again?
We can't 100% be sure that this image hasn't been interfered with. He could just be wearing a rain mat, like a raincoat, like an old school raincoat.
This is taken from a PDF.
I'm just saying it still could have been, if it's out in the peasant sphere on the internet. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to play Schwab's advocate.
Well,
I'm not saying
Medical
this isn't
Droid
real.
said he saw it in real life as
Well,
the
there we
original
go
thing.
then. There we go.
Yeah. But I was sent a PDF copy of what he saw.
Okay. It's very interesting.
I trust Medical Droid. He's been watching for a long time.
No, I'm not saying I'm just saying I distrust the tech that could manipulate an image. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Oh right, yeah. But
I've never seen this image, and believe me, I've seen a lot of images of Grandmaster Ginny.
Well, I watched the BBC thing recently. What was it called? Redemption.
The Reckoning.
The Reckoning. That's it.
Come on.
And basically, like, yeah, I mean, he made a point. They made a point in it that he was using his friendship with Elvis, and he was, luring girls with that. That's how they were painting it.
Elvis is probably fucking underage kids as well.
Wasn't he with a 14-year-old? Like,
yeah, I'm not saying, doesn't mean
Priscilla Presley was 14 when he met her.
Look, let's look at the facts. Whoever's tight with Grandmaster Ginny probably knows he used to like to fuck dead people. So maybe they used to like to fuck dead people as well. I don't know. If you're tight with him, if you're boys, maybe King Sausage Fingers likes to fuck dead people with a sausage.
So I have one more thing. So do you remember when I think it was Dom and Chris at Sheep Farm that told us about this sphere thing in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Right?
The peasant sphere.
yeah, literally, this is the peasant sphere. Right? I'm going to show you a clip.
What more appropriate place to have a peasant
yes,
sphere than in Energy Harvesting Central Las Vegas?
Right, we called it an energy harvesting, right? Right. After this clip, it is literally been called the Dark Harvester. Watch this.
Did we just go to digital hell?
That was awful. Now, I'm not convinced that was the correct music that went along with those visuals.
Is that digital hell?
But imagine being inside there. Shit. And there's people like, yeah, hands in the air. The peasants.
Can you imagine being off your face?
Give me more. Yeah, right. It would just be horrible. I mean...
In a massive crowd.
Okay, yeah, dance floor with some lasers and some smokes. Give me that any day. That's fine. but inside like some digital. Do you see how it became a cube at the end?
I'm not a peasant, mate. I don't go in a crowd. I'd stay on the outskirts or on the stage.
Yeah, much better. Sounds like someone struggling to breathe. Horrible. Yeah, live on a bike. Good old clean family entertainment. Yeah. Right, guys. Yeah, it's been an amazing show tonight. Like, we're coming up to 4 hours. I'm going to wrap it up there because we've been back to back. The phone lines have been going mad.
Mate, you spoke to loads of peasants tonight.
We spoke to loads of peasants and the Ramley. We're all the same.
There's still
We're all peasants at
196
heart.
peasants tuned in.
Right, guys. So the next time we're back is December the 22nd.
Mate, that is the Archaix AI Xmas special. That's
The AI Xmas special, in case anybody wasn't sure. That's it, December the 22nd. I'm not saying there's not going to be some Rise Above before that. We're going to be in Thailand. We're going to probably do some like quite impromptu.
Oh, there's going to be shorts.
Loads of shorts, quite impromptu little lives. We might just go live when we see something interesting. So make sure you've got all the bells ticked on the channel and all that kind of crap.
We're already researching Tartarian architecture in Thailand.
Yeah. We're gonna have.
And it's my Ramish wife Becky S's birthday as well. Whilst we're out there.
Yes, we're going to be having lots of fun. So, guys, we'll be back on December the 22nd. We will see you then. Don't forget to rise above.
Stay Ramish.
Stay Ramish.